Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Get ready for some spy thrillers and Noir detective mysteries with The Man Called X, Secret Agent K7, Dangerous Assignments, Richard Diamond, Dick Tracy, The Avengers, Whistler, Shadow, Falcon, and Top Secret.
Look to Lockheed for leadership. The men and women of Lockheed Aircraft present Herbert Marshall in The Man Called X, produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. The Man Called X. He is the man who crosses the ocean as readily as you and I cross town. He is the man who travels today as you and I will travel tomorrow. He is the man who fights today's war in his unique fashion so that tomorrow's peace will make the world a neighborhood for all of us. He is the Man Called X. Tonight, Mr. X takes us to India, land of jeweled Maharajas and beautiful princesses. But as the story opens, Mr. X is not yet within earshot of softly tinkling temple bells. For the moment, he's traveling down New York's Great White Way. And the lady sharing the cab with him is not an Indian princess, but Miss Nancy Bessington, anxious to arrive on time for the opening of a new musical comedy.
Driver, I want you to drop us at the Gotham Towers, corner 45th Street.
Okay.
Why, Ken, that's miles away from the theater. What are you up to?
Donnie, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone, to get rid of this Barney Oldfield and to deliver a letter.
Letter? Are you by any chance working for the post office department?
No, dear, but there's a department in Washington that'll be plenty interested in it.
Washington? And you whisper that in my ear 10 minutes before curtain time.
Oh, I was going to tell you. But with this fellow's driving, all I could think of was the police department.
24th floor. Penthouse elevator to your right, down the hall. Just push the button. It's automatic.
Come on, Nancy.
Okay.
Now, this whole affair won't take us 3 minutes, sweet. All I have to do is to deliver the letter to a certain Amar Pahalani.
Who?
Well, he's the representative of an East Indian Maharaja who's been here negotiating some deal or other.
Well, what's in the letter, Ken?
I think it's a contract.
Oh.
The boys didn't choose to tell me, and I didn't choose to ask because I didn't want to be dragged into the matter.
Here, let me push the button for the elevator. There.
You better push it again. It's not, Oh, here it comes. Stand aside, dear. The door's sliding open.
Oh, there's someone in here.
Someone was in there. This man's dead. Well, look at his turban, all covered with blood.
Oh, don't touch him.
Wait, his eyes are flickering open. He's trying to speak. Mr. Pahalani?
Pahalani?
Are you Amar Pahalani?
He's trying to... He nodded.
Mr. Pahalani, I'm Kenneth Thurston. I'm Mr. X. I brought your letter. A contract that must be delivered.
His lips are moving. He's trying to say something.
Yes, let me bend closer.
Sorry.
Can you whisper, Mr. Pahalani? Who is to get the letter? Yeah? Maharaja? Is that what you're saying? Maharaja?
Ken, the buzzer.
Yes, someone's pushed the button upstairs. Let's get out of here, quick. And stand away from the door. It's closing. Now to get downstairs fast, and then I want a taxi that can fly.
Ken, how in the world can you think of going to the theater now?
Theater? Honey, I'm going to India.
Oh!
Mr. Thurston, we're about to land, sir.
Oh, a wonderful city, isn't it, Stewart? Those golden roofs shining in the sun. All those graceful domes and spires. Gosh.
Look out the other window, sir. See? There's the Maharaja's palace.
Why, it's like a walled city in itself.
Yes, sir.
Look at that huge tower. I wonder what the palace looks like on the inside.
Inside?
I've often wondered too, sir.
Well, I'll tell you all about it on my way back.
Might find that rather difficult, sir. No foreigner has ever left that palace alive.
Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Why, Aegon Zolsmith, you chasing me again?
I'm Zagan, Mr. X.
Oh, Aegon, either one. It's like being chased by the devil.
Is it fantastic that we should meet here in India?
Not as fantastic as your costume. A man with your physique parading around in a loincloth.
Mr. X, I'm a yogi.
Oh, a yogi is it?
A yogi of great powers. I know the language of animals. I can foretell the future. I can transport you magically to any distant spot.
Then you're just the man I want. Transport me to the Maharaja's palace.
Oh, well, Mr. X, there are limits even to my powers.
You think your powers would increase if I gave you 50 rupees?
Oh, yes. I already feel much stronger. For 100 rupees, I'll take you to the Maharaja's prime minister. He will be very happy to arrange an interview with the Maharaja.
How do you know he'll be happy to arrange it?
Didn't I see I can see the future?
And I can still see your past, so take your hand out of my pocket.
I'm sorry.
You're not going to steal that letter, Aegon.
I'm delighted to see you, Mr. Thurston. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Permit me to finish. I'm delighted to see you in my capacity as a private individual. But as the Maharaja's Prime Minister, I'm pained to inform you that you will not be granted permission to stay.
Suppose I tell you that I was sent by Amar Pahalani.
And may I inquire who Amar Pahalani is?
Was. He died in New York, murdered, while on a mission for the Maharaja, as you well know.
But I do not know. At no time did His Highness the Maharaja send any emissary to the United States.
Well, surely Washington wouldn't have received him as an accredited representative.
I am as mystified as you are, Mr. Thurston.
But look at this envelope. It contains certain papers which must be delivered to His Highness.
I know of no papers, Mr. Thurston. Is it possible that you are the victim of a practical joke?
Well, Amar Pahalani must have had quite a sense of humor to let himself be murdered for a laugh.
I agree with you. It's baffling. Write me the solution when you get home, because you are taking the evening plane back to America.
Mr. Prime Minister, I still request that you get me into the palace.
You are asking the impossible. I won't attempt miracles.
No, that would probably call for a yogi with magic powers.
Sahib, secret rope trick, Sahib. I will show you now, Chief. May you grow rich. No, Mr. X, don't trust him. He's a charlatan.
It's about time you showed up, Aegon.
I almost couldn't come, Mr. X. You see, this is my hour for lying on a board studded with nails.
I'm kind of on pins and needles myself. Now, did you arrange to get me into the palace?
Wait. Let us stop in front of the snake charmer.
Not too close to the snake, please.
Pretend to be watching him while I whisper to him. Now listen carefully, Mr. X. Tonight I will take you to the palace.
Aegon? How? When? I'm not even asking how much.
Price is small, only 1,000 rupees. Meet me at midnight by the Babbling Brook under the palace walls.
Midnight, Babbling Brook. You shall get your 1,000 rupees. Thanks, Aegon. And I don't need to add, may you grow rich. Do those temple bells always go off at midnight?
Yes, they ring for the souls of those who entered this palace grounds and were never seen again.
Charming custom. Well, lead the way.
Here, Mr. F. Up the steps. There are guards about and a few tigers on the loose.
Fine thing. These stairs seem endless.
Yes, we are going up into the tower. Here is the balcony from which they throw down the bodies.
The bodies of unexpected visitors, I suppose.
Now climb through after me. This is the window of the 1,000 jewels.
Zagon, is it cricket to sneak into the Maharaja's room like this?
Are you in? Jump down. This is not the Maharaja's room, Mr. X.
Then where am I, Zagon? Look, I insist on seeing the Maharaja.
Won't I do
Huh?
instead?
Who are you? So fragile in your shimmering veils.
I am the Princess Radhanika, the Maharaja's niece. And you are a guest in my chamber.
It's an exquisite chamber. Too bad that I can't stay and admire the sights.
Mr. X, maybe I did wrong to bring you into the Zenana, the women's quarter.
Man to man, Zagon. I don't object at all.
Thank you.
The princess will undoubtedly lead me to the Maharaja.
No, you must not see him. That is why I sent for you. My uncle is a cruel, evil man. He'll believe us. Sit outside on my doorstep.
I obey, O princess. Goodbye, Mr. X. And may you grow happy and wise.
Sit by me, Mr. X. On these cushions.
Silken cushions. Fragrant with jasmine. Huh?
I'm signaling my musicians. They will play so that our conversation may not be overheard. You will find betel nuts and sweetmeats on that golden tray. Reach for the wine.
A jug of wine and thou. No, I better keep my head clear for the interview with the Maharaja.
Why do you keep insisting on that? Must I warn you again and again of the danger?
I love you for that, but why are you so concerned about a stranger like me?
Because you are not a stranger.
Press my hand like that again, and I'll begin to agree with you.
You're not a stranger. Because we knew someone in common. Amar Pahalani.
Well, I'm glad to hear someone claim Pahalani for a friend. The Prime Minister denied that the man ever existed.
The Prime Minister was not aware that Amar went to the United States.
Apparently, the Prime Minister doesn't keep up with things. Very sloppy of him not to keep track of the Maharaja's emissaries.
But he was not the Maharaja's emissary. I sent him to your country, Mr. X.
You?
To raise money. Much money.
Oh, don't tell me you're broke, Princess. Why, your lovely arms, I mean, they glisten with emeralds and rubies.
It takes limitless money to overthrow the Maharaja.
Am I to understand that you and the late Mr. Pahalani had serious thoughts of deposing the Maharaja?
Yes. And to kill him. Just as he killed my father. With his own hands to gain the throne.
Oh, and those stories about the Maharaja's cruelty aren't just publicity.
Someday the truth will be told that my father didn't die of malaria.
Malaria is quite a nuisance around here, isn't it? Wonder if I'm allergic.
I would 1,000 times rather have you die of malaria than be strangled by the Maharaja.
You are concerned, Princess. And you obviously don't want me to deliver the letter to His Highness, in spite of Pahalani's dying request.
Perhaps you misunderstood him. Perhaps he said Radhanika, not Maharaja.
Perhaps. His English was far from perfect. Whereas your lips speak a universal language.
So give me the letter. You will not find me ungrateful.
Ah, paradise now.
Oh. No, don't kiss me again. Press the letter.
Radhanika, why change the subject?
Because I must get that letter before the Maharaja arrives.
Let him arrive. I welcome his arrival. Your kisses have made me as bold as a lion.
Keep your voice down. Are you deliberately trying to get him to come in here?
Yes, deliberately and cold-bloodedly.
Please.
Do you think I'll just hand you that letter and leave like a cad, letting you face danger alone?
Sounds so wild.
Yes, I'm in a fever of indignation. Fever. Oh, Radhanika, feel my head. Am I kicking up a temperature?
Give me the letter.
I'm ill.
Give me the letter and go.
Go. In my condition, my knees are giving way. Let me just lie here on the couch.
No, you mustn't lie down. Mr. X, sit up.
Malaria. Can it be malaria?
No.
Why, my teeth are chattering.
Please,
I got the
please,
shakes.
no. Oh, Yogi, Yogi, come in here.
Yogi's everything at your disposal, Princess.
The Rex is either play acting or he is ill with malaria.
I can cure sickness of the soul, but for the body, I would need quinine.
Mustn't mention quinine. Only the court physician has that, and he would betray us.
I'm chilled. Cover me.
Yes, cover him.
Well, here, Mr. X, I'm putting rocks on you.
All right. No, Yogi, we've got to get him out of here. But first, you must help me search him for that letter.
Dagon, is that you?
Yes?
Put blankets on me.
Why?
More. Cover me with your jacket.
But Mr. X, if I give you my jacket, then I will freeze in this loincloth.
Put your jacket on him, Yogi. Anything to keep him quiet while we search him.
Well, here is my coat, Mr. X. Feel warmer now?
Put on the light, Yogi. No one must know that I'm still awake.
But, Princess, I always find it difficult to pick pockets in the dark.
The gong.
Oh.
Yogi, that's a signal. The Maharaja has left his chambers. Heaven help us if he enters this tower.
I'll blow out the light in a minute if I can ever catch my breath.
Now we must wait here in the dark, Yogi. The gong will sound nearer and nearer.
Oh, I can foretell the future, and it's not very promising.
I'm sorry he ever came here. I'm afraid.
Ah, my beloved. Fill the cup that clears today of past regrets and future fears.
Poetry, he is delirious.
Search him. This can mean death.
Dust unto dust, and under dust to lie. Sans wine, sans song, sans singer, and sans end.
Just a moment, we will continue with the second act of tonight's exploit to the man called X, starring Mr. Herbert Marshall. But first, a word from the men and women of Lockheed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lockheed Constellation is the largest, fastest, highest flying land transport in use today. Certainly, this is an interesting statement. Yet again tonight, we of Lockheed wish to point out what these points of superiority, largest, fastest, highest flying, mean to you, the airline passenger. Now, the ability to carry heavy loads for great distances at high speed is a direct result of power and design. And these factors, power and design, built into the Lockheed Constellation, provide such things as safety and comfort and economy. The Constellation can fly high over the highest mountain ranges and high above storms and disturbing air currents. It can land and take off from any standard airport. And, this is important, it can maintain altitude and even climb on any two of its 4 powerful engines. Furthermore, on flights of as short as 100 miles, the Lockheed Constellation has been found to operate more efficiently and more economically than the ordinary 2-engine transport you fly in today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, safety-wise and comfort-wise and economy-wise, the Lockheed Constellation is setting brand new standards in air transportation. Today, it serves the Army Air Forces. Tomorrow, it will serve you, bringing the airport in your town closer and ever closer to other cities and towns in America and to lands beyond the horizon. So again, we say, remember the name, the Lockheed Constellation, another example of Lockheed leadership. We return to tonight's exploit to the man called X, starring Herbert Marshall, to find him in the scented boudoir of an Indian princess. He had come to this mysterious principality of India to deliver a letter to the ruling Maharaja. But now Mr. X is suffering from an attack of malaria, and the princess is trying to steal the letter from his pocket, while gongs announce the approach of the Maharaja.
Yogi, the gong sound in the tower now. The Maharaja is coming up the stairs.
Princess, I've looked through all the pockets of Mr. X. I can't find the letter.
Wait, I will draw aside the curtains. Let the moon shine in.
Yon rising moon looks for us again. How oft hereafter will she wax and wane?
No letter. I am ready to give up and magically transport myself a safe distance from here.
Wait, Yogi, before you leave. I must give you a note to take to the Prime Minister. I will write it here in the moonlight. Wait.
While Mr. X's pockets are so convenient, I might as well collect my small fee of 1,000 rupees.
Take the cash and let the credit go. Nor heed the rumble of the distant drum.
Here is the note. The Prime Minister will know what to do when he gets it.
Before I go, I must get back the jacket that I put on Mr. X. This loincloth looks too informal. Here. Now.
Have you got your jacket on?
Yes.
Then go. Behind that tapestry, you will find a secret door.
What? A dark passage. What is the strange smell? It's suffocating.
You will get used to the smell. Goodbye, okay, goodbye. And now I'm alone with this babbling idiot. What am I to do with him?
Make the most of time we may yet spend before we too into the dust descend.
Roderigo, open the door. Roderigo!
Yes, Your Highness. I'm opening it.
I heard voices in here. Chamberlain, bring your light.
Here is the lamp, Your Highness.
Hold it higher. A man.
An intruder, Uncle. I struggled. I fought him.
Yes, fought him with sweetmeats and betel nuts.
Fought me with soft blandishments.
You're all
to
right.
keep me from disturbing Your Highness's slumber.
Nonsense. She knows very well that I have insomnia. Rise, sir. Who are you?
I'm the man called X, an amateur letter carrier. I beg
Don't
your...
listen to him. He has no letter.
Of course he hasn't, Radanika. I was not born yesterday.
Highness, does the name Amar Pahalani mean anything to you? Huh?
Yes. Yes, it means 1,000,000 rupees. It means a missing contract for the sale of 10,000 pounds of Chincona bark.
Then the deal involves Chincona bark. Precious Chincona, from which quinine is made.
Yes. Tell me, have you really got Amar's letter?
He hasn't. He hasn't. Have him shot.
In good time, Radanika. Mr. X, do not try my patience.
I'm forced to, Your Highness. The letter, owing to interference with the mail, is not on me.
What? Lost?
Not if we hurry.
Where to?
To the always hospitable home of His Excellency the Prime Minister. That's where the letter is.
It's a lie. Don't go with him. Don't.
I seldom lie, Princess. Though occasionally I exaggerate things like malaria symptoms. Why don't you, slip something over your shimmering veils and come along with us?
Do so, Radanika. Then, if the fellow is a liar, Uncle will let you shoot him with Uncle's own gun.
No, I can't. I won't go.
Trying to escape through the window.
Window of 1,000, Joe. I've caught her.
Up and down. Let me go.
No, Princess.
I will not go.
I'm carrying you to yon jasmine-scented cushion.
Hurry, Mr. X. The Prime Minister retires early.
I hope you'll retire permanently. Coming, Your Highness. Just let me cover Radanika with a rug while I tore a chunk out of her shimmering veil. There.
Your Highness. Servant, where is your worthy master, that scoundrel?
Why, His Excellency, he's out.
Out? Now what excuse will you find, Mr. X?
The letter is coming by carrier pigeon, and that means you, Zagon, get out from under that table.
Mr. X, this is my hour for making myself invisible.
Stand up like a man and pick your pocket.
My own pocket is highly unprofessional.
Then I'll have to do it for you, Zagon.
Oh, no, please.
Oh, stop squirming now.
Well-
Have to look in your other pocket. Don't act so kittenish.
I'm ticklish.
Here it is. Your Highness, I have the honor of handing you the letter.
Amar Pahalani's letter, sealed with his own ring. Let me open it.
I had a fortune in my pocket and I didn't know it. What kind of a yogi am I?
As one miracle man to another, Zagon, I switched the letter from my pocket to yours when you covered me with your jacket.
Yes, the contract is in order. Look, sealed, signed.
And delivered, finally. And so will the Chincona bark be delivered to my country. With most quinine in the hands of the Japs, this will be vital to our men in the Pacific.
Mr. X, an explosion.
Yes, look out the window. Flames!
The Chincona warehouses, burning, blown out.
Let's hurry there.
Oh, dear.
Let's go run into that visiting fireman, the Prime Minister. Everything is getting clearer and clearer.
Clearer with those clouds of smoke.
Zagon, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Highness, a calamity. The warehouse is in ashes.
The Prime Minister is directing the rescue, Your Highness.
Versatile fella. Burns the candle at both ends.
You man, send the Prime Minister here.
He's already coming. A diplomat on a fire helmet.
Highness, Mr. X, my friends, you must dry your tears. This tragedy was written in the Book of Fate.
Are you sure it wasn't written in the note which the princess sent you?
It was, Mr. X. I picked the note a little.
Maharaja Sahib, do not listen to the yogi. He's probably in a trance. What mortal man can tell why and how Chincona bark burns?
My nose can tell. And it's not Chincona that's burning. This smoke doesn't smell of quinine.
Your Highness, you trust the nose of this foreigner against
No,
the word?
Mr. Prime Minister. These warehouses were empty, systematically looted by you and the princess. And the bark stored elsewhere for eventual sale to Japan.
Your Highness, I can explain.
Explain the murder of Irma Pahalani by your spies.
Explain in your next existence. I shoot you like a dog. May you grow dead. Maybe I killed him too impulsively. Now I shall never discover where the Chincona is stored.
Visit the lovely Radanika. Ask her to draw aside a priceless tapestry. Open a hidden door to a secret passage.
But don't suffocate, Your Highness. I nearly choked to death. Yogi breath control notwithstanding.
Yes, the Chincona bark smelled to high heavens, Dagon. But not worse than Radanika's silken cushions. Confidentially, I hate the smell of jasmine.
The cushions will be buried in the same grave with Radanika.
Poor Radanika. I hope Your Highness will give her a state burial. It's most unlikely that I shall meet her in another existence. Yon rising moon that looks for us again. How oft hereafter will she wax and wane? How oft hereafter rising look for us through that same garden, and for one in vain.
Star, Mr. Herbert Marshall returns to tell you about next week's exploit of the man called X. Here is an announcement from Lockheed. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, Sunday, October 1st, marks another important milestone in the history of air transportation. Tomorrow, a Lockheed Lodestar, flying the colors of National Airlines, takes off from the Jacksonville, Florida airport and flies the first National Airlines schedule to New York City. Other Lockheed Lodestars will follow on regular schedules to establish the fastest airline service up and down the Atlantic seaboard. Lockheed congratulates National Airlines on the inauguration of this new service, a progressive step that is typical of many other United States airlines. Most of them started small, and with the support of air-minded Americans, extended and expanded until today our nation is a vast network of integrated air systems. Yes, the nation's airlines have established a progress record unmatched by any other American industry. And this is only the beginning. Tomorrow, after victory, new planes and new routes will make the entire world part of the airline network, a system that you and every American can enjoy. And now a word from our star, Herbert Marshall.
Next week you'll find me high among the peaks of the eternal Alps in Switzerland, where a simple toy music box leads to adventure, romance, and even danger. For there's a beautiful blonde involved who also proves to be a beautiful shot with a high-powered rifle. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X.
Presented by the men and women of Lockheed Aircraft. Tonight's exploit was written by Francis Farago. Original music was composed and conducted by Felix Mills. The entire production was under the direction of Jack Johnstone. Mr. Marshall's appearance is through courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor picture Kismet. The men and women of Lockheed invite you to join Mr. X again next Saturday. Same time, same station. John McIntyre speaking. This is the Blue Network.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Subscribe for more videos.
Secret Agent K7 returns.
America's #1 adventurer, K7, former United States secret agent who operated in 22 countries, on land, on sea, and in the air, brings you another modern story of today. Here is K7.
Ladies and gentlemen, in several of my recent stories, I have hinted of the activities of spies today. As all who read know, this activity is very real and often more menacing to peace than the plots of the international crooks. No government is free from their threat. Today I bring you a story of a woman spy who worked alone, a modern Matahara. My old friend John Holbrook will take up the story at this point.
Thank you, K7. Recently, K7 told a story of propaganda, a story in which Rita Drake, daughter of a special agent, called on B9 to rescue her father. Following that adventure, B9 remained with the Drakes for several days. He was expecting a cablegram. Our story now opens as the message arrives.
B9.
Yes, Rita. I'm over here reading.
B9, the cable you've been expecting has just arrived. I signed for it.
Oh, thank you. Let me have it, please.
Does it mean that you're going to leave us?
Yes, Rita, I'm afraid it does. This is extremely important. One of the continent's most dangerous spies is at work.
Are you going after him?
Yes, but it's not a man, Rita. This spy is a woman. And...
What's the matter?
I was just thinking. Let me read you this cablegram. Sample of poison gas tested. Found to be exceptionally deadly. Zora Laval also after it. It's signed K7.
K7? Is he working on the case, too?
No, but I sent the gas to him to be tested. This is his report. Rita, would you like to work on this case with me?
Would I? Oh, of course I would, B9. But do you think Father'd let me?
Yes, I'm sure he would. I'm going to have to deal with a woman, and I think you can be useful.
Tell me what I'd have to do. Where is this woman spy?
I think I know where to find her. But let me outline the whole case. An old chemist, Dr. Delamain, has discovered a particularly deadly gas. The information peddlers are after the formula. If they should get it, well, I don't like to think what might happen. That gas would kill millions if there were a war.
I can't believe that a woman... Oh, she couldn't sell a gas like that.
She could, and she would, Rita. You don't know Zora Laval. She's beautiful and heartless. I have got to get to Dr. Delamain before she does, and you're going with me.
B9 and Rita took off by plane within an hour. They had a continent to cross, but they were too late, for even while they were in the air, the crafty Zora Laval talked with the old chemist, Dr. Delamain. She used woman's most powerful weapons, beauty and charm.
But don't you see, Doctor, this gas you have discovered could be dropped from airplanes on cities. It would kill thousands of defenseless women and children.
Oh, my gas will never be used so. I have said that I will destroy the formula.
It must be destroyed, Doctor, but you must let me do it. I have come to you representing the women of the world. It is women who must destroy such deadly weapons of war.
I see no reason why I should give it to you.
You must, Doctor. If you should destroy your formula yourself, No one would be sure it was gone. Spies would believe you still possessed it. Your life would be in constant danger. But if it were known that the gas and formula had been given to me...
They would stop pestering me, perhaps, eh?
That is it, Doctor. One spy has already called on you.
Eh? How do you know that?
I have heard that he was here in the city. He calls himself B9.
The special agent?
He has been here, hasn't he?
Yes, last week. But he is a special agent.
No, Doctor. He is a spy. His credentials are false. It is men like him who would not believe that your formula was gone. He might even kill you, Doctor.
It is enough. I even gave him a sample of my gas.
You gave B9 a sample? Tell me, Doctor, can the gas be analyzed?
No, it is impossible. The formula is needed.
Then give me a cylinder of gas and your formula. Doctor, give it to me before it is too late.
Yes, you shall have it. Wait, the cylinder is small. It is here on my bench. Yeah, take it. But remember, there is enough gas in this little cylinder to kill 100 people. The valve on top must never be turned.
Thank you, Doctor. Next week there will be a mass meeting of the women who love peace. This cylinder will be destroyed before their eyes. Then your formula will also be burned. You will give me that, too.
Yes, take it. Let the world know that Dr. Delamont has destroyed his poison gas. Here is the formula.
Thank you, Doctor. There is no other copy?
That is the only one.
Then I will leave you. And if B9 returns, tell him that you have given your gas and formula to Zora Laval.
A few hours later, B9 arrived in the small city and immediately called on the old chemist.
Oh, good afternoon, Doctor.
So, it is you. Go away. I do not want to talk to you.
Doctor.
You are a spy. I have found out about you, but you are too late. My poison gas and formula have been given to Zora Laval. You and the other spies have lost. Now go, before I call the police.
The old man refused to say more. Zora Laval had tricked him and possessed both the poison gas and the formula. B9 worked fast. First, he traced the spy. A hotel clerk gave him his first clue.
I made reservations for her, monsieur. She took the late afternoon Continental Express.
Next, B9 wirelessed K7 and asked that certain arrangements be made to board the train. The message came back by radio.
Official orders have been given the train crew. If you fly by plane, you can catch the train and flag it. Once aboard, you will be in complete command. This is K7 speaking.
That night, Rita and B9 were landed near a small railroad station many miles from the old chemist's laboratory. Together, they waited on the station platform.
Rita, I am leaving a lot in your hands. You know what to do.
Yes, B9.
As soon as we board the train, you will be put in the same compartment with Zora Laval. Keep this small container always at your side, and remember, do nothing without using what it contains.
I remember. Look, the train, I can see the light.
We'll be aboard in a minute. It's going to stop for us. You're on your own now, Rita. I don't want you to be seen with me once we're aboard. Keep your head. I'll be near you.
There's the conductor.
Monsieur, yes, we are the passengers for whom you stopped, conductor. This young lady is to be put in the compartment with Zora Laval.
I understand, monsieur. We have received orders. Mademoiselle, may I help you? We must start.
Thank you.
Good luck, Rita. If you'll need me, I'll be somewhere outside your compartment door.
Don't worry, B9. I know what to do.
This way, mademoiselle.
The train roared through the night, and one by one the slits of light under compartment doors blinked out as travelers went to their berths. The light in compartment 17 burned until nearly midnight. Then it, too, was blotted out. Outside the compartment door, B9 kept vigil.
Monsieur, you are still
Be
up?
quiet, you will be heard.
But, monsieur, it is late after midnight. The train is in dark.
So much the better. Don't worry about me.
But, monsieur, if there is anything I can
There's
do...
nothing anyone can do.
Monsieur, you're worried.
If you knew what was going on behind that compartment door, you would be worried too. Now, leave me alone. I'll call you if there's anything I want.
Yes, monsieur. Good night.
Behind the door of compartment 17, two women slept, or appeared to sleep. Then one slowly rose from her berth. She adjusted something in the darkness, then cautiously crept toward a corner in which two traveling bags rested. Silently, she tried first one key and then another. Then a lock snapped open.
Stand where you are. You attempt to move, I will shoot you. You are a thief. What are you doing with my bags?
Don't move toward the light switch.
You tell me what I must do? I ought to kill you.
Remain where you are, Zora Lavelle. I have your formula.
You will never leave this train with it.
And I also have your container of poison gas. If you attempt to put on the lights, I'll turn the valve and release the gas.
You wouldn't dare do that. This compartment will become a death trap.
I'll turn the valve if you move.
You are bluffing. I'm coming after you.
I've warned you. Listen. You fool! Let me out!
Don't try to get away, Miss
Close
Lavelle.
the door, the gas!
You're under arrest. I had to make certain you had the gas and formula with
Please let me go. I don't want to die like her. If that gas should come out under that door...
It won't.
You don't understand. One breath of that gas would mean slow death.
I know that as well as you do.
The door is opening. Zora's fainted, B9.
You opened the windows, Rita?
Yes, as soon as she ran out of the compartment. The speed of the train has cleared the room. I let the gas that remained in the cylinder escape into the wind.
Good. Then it's been dissipated into the wind. It'll harm no one. You have the formula?
Yes, it's here.
Good, Rita. Our work is done. You can remove your gas mask.
It's coming. Oh, seems good to get it off.
That gas mask saved your life, Rita. Now we've got one more job. Perhaps we should wait until Zora Lavelle comes out of her faint. I'd like to have her watch us.
What are you going to do?
Take this match and strike it, Rita.
All right.
Now, burn this poison gas formula in the name of world peace.
Once again, a special agent served the cause of peace. Zora Lavelle was imprisoned. She no longer menaces the nations of the world. And may I repeat here, spies are active in every country today. To know of their activities is to be warned against them. Listen for my next story. This is K7 speaking.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio. rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
The National Broadcasting Company brings you Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell in Dangerous Assignment.
Over here. Here I am with the boat. Swim over this way. Here, let me help you aboard. Give me your hand. Come on. Up. You'll set the charge of nitroglycerin? Good. And no one saw you leave the ship? Right on schedule. The ship goes to the bottom, and only the two of us know the location. And now... Wait, no. No, put down the knife. No, don't do it! Oh.
Three ships sunk in 2 weeks, Steve. And the last one cost the lives of 6 passengers.
But, Commissioner, why send me halfway around the world just because 3 ships were sunk?
Steve, those ships carried U.S. rehabilitation supplies.
I see.
Now, as usual, you'll pose as a foreign correspondent.
Here's your press credentials, Steve. Your passport and plane ticket.
Ruth, did you say plane ticket?
You take off in 2 hours.
Now, look, I was figuring on a little deal. Can't it wait till tomorrow?
No, it can't wait. And that's another thing, Steve. On this assignment, there's to be no women and no gambling. It's strictly business, dangerous business.
Okay, Commissioner.
All right, Steve. Your first stop in Saigon is the Malayan Star Lines. The manager's name is Brevant. You've got your assignment. Get going.
You've seen him in The Great McGinty, as Major Devereaux in Wake Island, as Trampas in The Virginian. Now, here is our star, Brian Donlevy, in another two-fisted portrayal as Steve Mitchell in Dangerous Assignment. The time, now. The place, Saigon, inscrutable city of the Orient, where the ancient and the modern rub elbows in the narrow, crowded streets. Saigon, city of intrigue, of shadows, of forgotten men, of danger.
Mr. Brevant, I believe you're in charge of the Malayan Star Lines here in Saigon.
That is correct, Monsieur...
Mitchell, Steve Mitchell. I'm a foreign correspondent. I just flew in. I'd like an interview.
There's not much of which to talk. 3 ships of our line sail for Singapore. The first night out, an explosion, they're gone.
Just like that, huh?
Oui, just like that.
Could I take a look at the passenger list for those 3 ships?
Certainly. I have them on my desk.
Thank you. You don't carry many passengers.
Only a few.
Any survivors?
From the first sinking, none. From the third sinking, also none.
How about the second?
1.
Who is it?
An Englishman named Dixon, the cook.
Is he around anywhere? I'd like to talk to him.
Aran, tell the Englishman Dixon to come to my office.
Most of your crews have been with the line quite a while?
It is the exception rather than the rule, monsieur. Out here, one must take what men one can get.
I see. What kind of cargo were your ships carrying?
That is the mystifying part, monsieur. Here are the cargo lists. As you see, the Malayan Star Lines carry American rehabilitation supplies, teak wood, spices, rubber, the usual.
This teak wood, I notice all of it comes from the same place.
Yes, the plantation of Monsieur Surat. It is inland, up the Saigon River. Come in.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Brevant?
Oui, yes. This gentleman is Monsieur Mitchell, a journalist.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hi. Mr. Brevant tells me you're the only survivor from the second sinking.
I'm the only one from any of them.
That makes you pretty lucky, doesn't it?
Lucky ain't off of it.
Look, Did you notice anything unusual aboard your ship before the explosion?
Well, I was back aft, getting a breath of air before turning in, I was. And I noticed a silhouette of a small boat in the moonlight. Off our starboard beam she was, and running without lights.
Without lights?
That's right.
Anything else?
I didn't have time to notice anything else, mister. Because just then there's a sheet of flame. The whole ship goes up in the air, and the next thing I know, I'm holding on to a spar in the water for dear life.
Mm-hmm. Have you any idea what your ship's position was when she went down?
Near as I can figure, we was in shoal water close to Polo Condori.
That is an island 100 miles off the coast of Indochina, monsieur. But of course, it is but a guess. We have no way of knowing the exact location.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the information. I think it ought to make a good yarn.
Do you intend to remain here in Saigon long?
Well, that depends. I'd like to talk to Mr. Surratt, the plantation owner. You know where I might find him?
There is a gambling casino just down the street, monsieur. If he is in Saigon, he will be there.
Good. I'm beginning to feel lucky.
I am certain you will not lack for games of chance in Saigon, monsieur. I personally find gambling a bore, but it would seem I am in the minority.
Yeah, I guess you are. Well, thanks for the story. I'll see you around.
He's an inquisitive gent, ain't you, Mr. Brevant?
Yes, he is indeed.
Newspaper chap, is he?
That is what he said. Dixon, tell Aran to answer my telephone for me. I'm going out for a while.
Rating. Even. Sorry, monsieur. You lose again.
Look, this game is slow death. Haven't you got something with a little more action in it?
And monsieur would perhaps prefer the dice table downstairs.
That's a thought. Thanks. Oh! I beg your pardon.
Oh, no, it is my fault, monsieur.
Let me pick up your chip.
Oh, you are most kind, monsieur. It was very clumsy of me.
As a matter of fact, I bumped into you deliberately. It was the only way I could think of to meet you.
Monsieur has a ready wit.
If you're looking for something to tack on after the monsieur, it's Mitchell. Steve Mitchell.
They call me Leanna, monsieur.
They picked a nice name. Well, here are your chips.
You pick up my chips and my luck with them. You must allow me to buy you a drink, huh? You see, I am superstitious.
Good. So am I. And having a drink with you is suddenly a superstition of mine.
Let us go to the bar.
Leanna. Leanna.
Well, I should have known you wouldn't be alone.
It is only my brother, monsieur.
Oh, where are you going, Leanna?
It is all right, Matik. I am sure the American will take good care of me. Monsieur Steve Mitchell, my brother, Matik.
Hello.
Oh, your servant offending.
Here, Matik, you play some of my chips, huh, while we have our drink. Come along, Steve.
You live here in Saigon, Leanna?
For the most part. But I'm restless. I travel a lot. Tomorrow night I leave for Singapore.
Oh? I guess my luck hasn't changed after all.
I will not be gone long.
How are you going to Singapore?
I travel by tramp steamer. It is not so boring.
Oh, not on the Malay Star Lines.
Why, yes. Ah, here we are.
Sort of crowded right here. Why don't we move down to the other end?
There is room here. I will move over.
Oh, thank you.
No trouble, sir. No trouble at all.
What will you have, Stephen?
Bourbon and... Hey,
What is it?
I just saw someone I know, Leanna. Excuse me just a minute.
Of course.
Be back in a minute.
I will order the drinks.
Well, my dear,
He seems interested in the Malayan Star Line, sir.
you think he is involved?
It is possible.
Very well. I will proceed on that assumption. Boy, come here.
Oui, monsieur?
I want a message delivered for me.
Good evening, Mr. Brevant. Huh?
Oh, Monsieur Mitchell, is it not? Have you written your story yet?
Not yet. I'm a little surprised to see you here at the casino. When we talked this afternoon, you told me gambling bored you.
It does. But I do find interest in observing gamblers, monsieur, particularly when high stakes are involved.
Oh?
Monsieur, I congratulate you on the speed with which you have made yourself acquainted in Saigon.
What do you mean?
Did I not observe you conversing at the bar with Surratt?
Surratt?
The stout gentleman.
You mean the guy who was standing next to me, the one with the face like a toad?
Your description does not flatter him, but it is accurate.
Well, thanks, Laurent. I'll see you around.
Undoubtedly, monsieur.
I'm sorry I took so long, Leona.
Oh, it's quite all right. Well, here is your drink.
Thanks. Say, what happened to the guy who was next to me here, the one who moved over to make room?
Huh? Oh, I do not know, Steve. I was not noticing.
It's a rat.
Is that his name?
Yeah. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Monsieur Mitchell. Steve Mitchell.
Over here, boy.
You are a busy man, Steve.
I seem to be.
Monsieur Mitchell?
Yeah, what is it?
You are wanted outside, monsieur.
Oh, by whom?
Oh, he not give name, monsieur. But he say quite urgent.
Okay. Here.
Oh, thank you, monsieur.
Leona.
I know. You will be gone but a minute. Yes, I will wait for you.
Mitchell, Effendi.
Who are you?
You are Steve Mitchell?
What do you want, a calling card? Yeah, I'm Steve Mitchell. I suppose you tell me why you got me out here.
I am Dalai. I suggest that we walk, Effendi.
Oh. You always suggest with a gun, Dalai?
When it is necessary, Effendi. Come.
Mind telling me where we're going?
Certainly not. Right around the corner here and into the alley.
Cozy in here.
And dark, Effendi.
Wait a minute. Looks like we've got company in here.
It is but my friend Banjak, Effendi.
Oh, hello. What's the matter? Is he bashful?
He cannot speak. His tongue was removed by force some years ago. But he is strong and willing. Banjak.
Why, you...
That reminder from Banjak will serve to open the conversation.
Look, I don't know what this is all about.
To be brief, Effendi, you have information which I require. The locations of the 3 sunken ships.
The ships? You think I know where they were sunk?
Banjak.
Look.
Perhaps that will refresh your memory.
How can I tell you the location when I don't know them?
Again, Banjak.
I tell you, this wasn't going to do you any good. I don't know where those ships were sunk.
Very well. If you intend to be stubborn, you may proceed, Banjak. I told you not to resist.
Well, you think I'm going to stand here and let this big ape make mince meat out of me?
Very well, Effendi. It is a pity the Effendi bleeds so easily, Banjak. But I must not deprive you of extended enjoyment. You may kick him. I will tell you when to stop.
The National Broadcasting Company is bringing you Brian Donlevy, starring in the role of Steve Mitchell in the second of an exciting new adventure series, Dangerous Assignment. The time, the next morning. The place, a luxuriously furnished bedroom in a spacious villa near Saigon, overlooking the sea.
Ah, you are awake at last, Effendi.
If you can call it that. Well, hey, wait a minute. You're Leona's brother, aren't you?
Matik, your servant, Effendi.
Look, would you mind telling me how I got into this harem?
You are in the house of my sister, Liana.
How did I get here?
Well, Liana became worried when you did not return to the casino last night. We went outside to look for you and found you crawling out of the alley, badly beaten. So we brought you home with us. You are all bloody. How do you feel now?
All bloody? Hey, Help me out of this mink-lined cradle, will you?
Oh, of course.
Where are my pants? Hey, wait a minute.
No. It was I who put you to bed. And here are your pants.
Thanks. Where's Liana?
Swimming in the ocean. Come, you can see her out the window.
Hey, she's quite a swimmer, isn't she? Does she always swim out that far?
Oh, yes. Every morning.
Well, I'm not that ambitious this morning, but a dip would do me good.
Steve, you are quite a swimmer yourself.
Thanks. That water made me feel almost human again. Any cigarettes around here?
Right here on my robe. Here you are. You look much better than when we found you last night, Steve.
You know, you've taken awfully good care of me, Liana. Why?
Why? Oh, perhaps. Perhaps there have been so many places, many times, many men in my life. And with me, there's always been the same. But then last night, I saw you. And I knew you were something different.
How different?
Does that make your bruises feel better?
It helps. You know, that's a kind of medicine I could get addicted to, Liana.
Perhaps when I return from Singapore, there will be more time to become addicted.
Maybe. When do you sail?
A day tonight. On the Malayan Queen.
I guess my luck's still no good. Okay, look, I gotta go back to my hotel and pick up a change of clothes. But anyway, I'll be down to see you off tonight.
Mr. Mitchell.
Huh? Hey, how'd you get in here?
I'm Surratt. I learned you were registered at this hotel, so I took the liberty of waiting here in your room.
Quite the liberty, wasn't it?
An occasion demands it. The courtesies must be omitted.
What's the occasion?
I will be brief. Mr. Mitchell, I will assume you are a man who is interested in money.
That's a safe assumption, Surratt.
I believe you're in possession of certain information which is of value to me.
Here we go again.
Sir?
Look, you happen to know a couple of cutthroats named Dilai and Benjack? Benjack's a big lug with no tongue.
Dalai, Benjack? I have not had the pleasure of their acquaintance, sir.
Oh, it's no pleasure, believe me.
Sir?
I'll skip it. Now, what's this about certain information I have?
I will not waste words. 10,000 American dollars for the location of the sunken ships.
10,000? Means a lot to you, doesn't it? You've been shipping teakwood on the Malayan Star Line, haven't you?
From my plantation up the river, sir. It is a matter of record.
I didn't know teakwood was that valuable.
I repeat my offer. 10,000 American dollars.
I'll have to have a little time to think it over, Surratt.
I cannot grant you much time, sir. I'm sailing tonight on the Malayan Queen. You have until 7:30 this evening.
Okay.
I will expect your answer before sailing time. Until then, good day, sir.
Malayan Starline.
Mr. Brevant, please.
I am sorry, sir, but he's gone.
Gone?
Yes, sir, on a business trip. He is sailing in half an hour on the Malayan Queen.
Could you get word to him that... never mind, I'll call you back. Come in.
Mitchell.
Dixon, what's the matter?
Knife in my back.
What happened?
Malayan Queen. Ready to sail.
Yeah, I know.
I saw someone go aboard. That was on the other ship.
You mean the ship that was sunk?
Yes.
Who was it?
Followed me here and stabbed me.
Who stabbed you? Dixon, Dixon!
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Mitchell, but I don't leave the bridge until we're out of the channel.
That's okay, Captain. I'd like you to look at these credentials. They'll explain who I am and why I'm aboard your ship.
You're investigating the recent sinkings.
Yes, Captain. A couple of people seem awfully interested in the location of those sunken ships. I'm kicking an idea around that maybe there was something pretty valuable aboard them.
What would it be?
I don't know. Are you carrying the same sort of cargo on this ship that was on the others?
Yes, as far as I know.
Another shipment of teak wood from Surratt's plantation?
There is. Also, some American rehabilitation supplies.
Tell me, could those rehabilitation supplies be salvaged after they were sunk?
Oh, no. The water had ruined them.
Captain, suppose you wanted to sink a ship and recover something from it later.
What?
Where would you sink it?
I suppose in shallow water.
Yeah. Now, what's the first shallow water we'll be passing through tonight?
Well, let's see. We'll pass through the Diablo Shoals a little after midnight. Depth there is only 15 fathoms.
I see. Is that the passenger list on your desk?
Yes. Here.
Yeah, looks like the gang's all here. Brevant, Liana, her brother Matique, and Surratt. Captain, I need your full cooperation.
Why, certainly. What is it?
I'd like you to order these 4 passengers to be in Brevant's stateroom 3 hours from now at 11 tonight.
Brevant, I demand an explanation of this, being hauled up to your cabin like a common criminal.
But, Monsieur Surratt, I am as much in the dark as you.
I do not think it necessary to point out that this may cost you my business, Brevant.
If you would only tell us the reason for all this, Effendi Brevant.
Matik, I'm sure there must be a good reason for all this. If we are but patient, we will learn what it is.
Here is the man who is responsible, Monsieur Mitchell.
Steve!
Hello, Liana. Matique.
Your servant, Effendi.
Good evening, sir.
Surratt.
Apparently you forgot our appointment, Mr. Mitchell.
I didn't forget it. I had a couple of other things to take care of.
Perhaps, sir, you'll be good enough to explain what this is all about.
Sure, I'll explain. I'll make it short. I think one of you is responsible for the sinkings of those 3 ships.
You are joking, Steve.
Sorry, Liana.
But to suggest that I could have anything to do with it.
You're a good swimmer. I'm afraid I'll have to count you in.
Oh, it is so ridiculous to think that I or my brother could be involved in such a thing.
You make a serious charge against us, Effendi.
I know.
This is an insult to my long years of service on the line.
Perhaps it is a serious charge as far as the others are concerned, Mr. Mitchell. But to suspect that I am involved is ridiculous. Much valuable teakwood of mine was sunk with those ships.
Yeah. And maybe it's more valuable than I thought at first.
What do you mean by that, sir?
I'll let it ride for the time being, because I've got another piece of news for you. Of course, it isn't really news to one of you.
What do you mean, Steve?
There was a ship's cook named Dixon, survivor of one of the sinkings. Tonight, he saw one of you come aboard. He recognized you as being on that other ship. So whichever one of you it was, killed him to shut his mouth.
I assure you, this is the first of these ships I have been aboard, sir, and also the last.
One of you 4 is the killer and dynamiter. That person has a bomb planted on this ship and plans to dive overboard before the explosion. And that explosion is due for about midnight, 45 minutes from now.
Steve, this is ridiculous.
Is it? Just keep your eyes on that clock, all of you. Nobody's going to leave this cabin for the next 45 minutes. We're going to sweat it out together, just watching that minute hand creep around to midnight. $11:30. Anyone feel like talking yet?
Really, Mitchell?
Really, what,
Haven't
Brevant?
you carried this silly joke far enough, Steve?
There is only one way to prove he is mistaken in his suspicions, Liana. That is to wait.
Can't we get a little air into this cabin? It's so infernally hot.
You know something, Surratt? It's going to get a lot hotter. Seven minutes to midnight. We reach shallow water in about 10 minutes. That means 10 minutes before the ship gets blown up. Anybody's tongue loosening up? Surratt?
I demand to be released from this pest hole.
Brevant?
You must be insane.
Liana?
Think I once considered you.
Yeah, save the romance. Matique, how about you? You feel like talking?
When one knows nothing, one can say nothing, Effendi.
Okay, keep watching that minute hand,
stand this any longer. I've got to get out of here. You've got to let me go.
So you're the one, Surratt?
No. You must believe me. I would be the last one in the world to blow those ships up.
Why?
Surratt!
There's gold hidden in those crates of teak wood.
Surratt, you fool! He was only bluffing. Now you have told him.
You haven't told me enough. Keep talking.
I have nothing more to say.
Look, Surratt, 3 ships have been sunk on account of this. Now open up. Start talking.
No.
You better talk before I beat it out of you. Now spill it.
All right. During the war, an air raid, a ship carrying gold bullion steamed up the river to escape. But it was sunk near my plantation.
I think I can take it from there. You recovered the gold, and this is the way you've been sneaking it out of Indochina, huh? Hidden in crates of teakwood?
Yes, it was Liana's
Shut
idea.
up, Surratt!
But someone must have found out about the gold and has been sinking the ships.
Yeah, in shallow water so they can get the gold later.
Effendi Mitchell, now that we know Surratt is guilty, you will please allow me to leave. I have a headache.
Mitchell, it is almost midnight. Yeah, nobody's leaving until I find out who's mined this ship.
Effendi Mitchell,
You keep looking at your watch, Matik. Why?
Matik, what is the Matik, you didn't. You did. You put the explosives on this ship, too. You were going to jump overboard and leave me here, you fool.
Where'd you plant it, Matik? Where did you plant it?
Let me out of here.
You're not going anywhere.
The nitroglycerin will explode in 2 minutes.
Matik, you sank those ships. You and Liana betrayed me. Very well.
Surratt, put that gun away. Surratt!
And for you, Liana.
Grab that gun, Bravant. Wait. Matik, where's the nitroglycerin? Where is it? Surratt, you jughead. You killed the only man who knew where it was hidden. We've got 1 minute and 50 seconds to find that nitro. Genius. Any ideas, Bravant?
But he could not have put it below decks. Men are stationed all over the ship. It must be in his cabin. Come on.
Locked. Get back, Bravant.
Oui.
Take that side of the room. I'll take this.
All right.
It's got to be in here somewhere. It's got to be.
There's nothing over here, Mitchell.
Wait a minute. Listen. There's something kicking.
Yes, I hear it.
Under the bunk. Look, that black suitcase. Easy.
Throw it overboard, quick.
Yeah, I got to get out of the way, Bravant. I got to get it over the rail.
Hurry, Mitchell, hurry. Only a few seconds more, it will explode. Throw it as far as you can.
You don't have to tell me that. Hit the deck.
Mitchell, are you all right, Mitchell?
Yeah. Except that I'm about 5 years older, Captain. Whew. That was close.
Yeah, too close. Probably buckled a few of the ship's plates.
Yeah, well, you better put Surratt under arrest. You can turn him over to the authorities when the ship reaches port.
Yeah.
Chances of getting the gold that's already been sunk are pretty slim, but there's probably a lot of it still at Surratt's plantation. The government can check that.
Mitchell, allow me to say, I have never seen one so calm in the face of danger. All the time we were waiting in my cabin after I realized what your plan was, my heart was in my throat.
You think mine wasn't? It was choking me. Look at me, Bravant. I look like a fairly intelligent guy, don't I?
Well, yes, of course.
With a normal assortment of brains.
Certainly.
And a reasonable amount of common sense.
But of course.
And will you tell me something?
What is it?
Why did I ever get myself mixed up in a job like this?
You have just heard the second in an exciting new adventure series, Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell. Dangerous Assignment is written by Bob Reif and directed by Bill Karn, with music by Bruce Ashley. Be with us again next week at this same time when Brian Donlevy, starring as Steve Mitchell, will embark on another Dangerous Assignment. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Cigarettes present Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
The reasons behind Camel's great popularity are flavor and mildness. Smoke only Camels for 30 days and see how rich and flavorful Camels are pack after pack. See how mild they are, how well they get along with your throat week in and week out. Then you'll know why Camels are America's most popular cigarette.
Here, transcribed, is Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
In my business, nearly every case I get mixed up in has some kind of an interesting angle. If it isn't some woman who spotted a neighbor floating bodies in his bathtub, or a lonely husband who got lonely because he disposed of his wife with a meat axe, then it might be a case like the one I got mixed up in last week.
Mr. Richard Diamond?
I agreed with him, watched him close the door and walk into my office. I looked, closed my eyes, looked again. I made up my mind I wasn't having hallucinations. He couldn't have weighed more than 140, a kindly face that supported a sad sort of a smile. He was dressed well, and his actions seemed perfectly normal. But there was one little thing that bothered me. He was a good 8 feet tall.
You seem a little disturbed, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, it's nothing, no, just a high fever. About 110, I'd say.
You've noticed something out of the ordinary?
Oh, no.
I work for a carnival, Mr. Diamond.
Oh?
My name is Adam Rayburn. I'm billed as the thinnest man in the world.
And you must come close to being the tallest.
7 feet 11 in my stocking feet.
Well, I'm glad to know you, Mr. Rayburn. What can I do for you?
I wish to hire you.
I charge $100 a day in expenses.
That's agreeable.
$100 in advance. That's just so I won't have to take time off from your trouble and sell some of my steel stock.
Here's $100.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rayburn. You are now the proud owner of a pedigreed private detective.
I suppose you'd like to know about my problem.
Well, it's cheaper than letting me guess.
There's a girl who works at the carnival. Her name is Rowena.
Rowena?
Professional name. You've heard of her?
Oh, yeah. She's a dancer, isn't she?
That's right. We've been in love for some time. Oh, she's a wonderful girl. Beautiful. All that any man
I watched him
could
talk
ever
about her, and I swallowed a big lump in my throat. Adam Rayburn, almost 8 feet tall, was reminiscing about his love with all the sincerity of a handsome Romeo. I'd seen Rowena, and I could certainly understand why the skinny guy had it bad. But being a pretty practical guy myself, Adam just didn't look like the type a girl like Rowena would go for. But I always say you never know about some things.
She's in trouble, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, what kind of trouble, Adam?
Oh, that's why I came to you. I don't know, and she won't tell me. She won't let me help her. But it's obvious whatever trouble she's got in is more than she can handle.
And you want me to find out what it is?
Yes.
Well, I'll do my best.
Oh, thank you. It's very important to me.
He told me about the carnival and where I could find Rowena. He also warned me that if Rowena found out, she would be more than mildly unhappy. He thanked me again, shook my hand, and went out of the office. I closed up, went home, and napped until 6. Then I headed for the carnival.
Hey, step right up on the inside. It is the most amazing spectacle ever to be witnessed in this hemisphere. Lungo the Gorilla Boy captured in the
High Boy, fast, safe, sensational ride. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Ride the High Boy. Only a dime. Fast, safe, sensational ride.
Carnival, colorful, gaudy, fascinating if you're 5 or 50. You get initiated when you're a kid and you never forget it. The nostalgia of hot dogs and mustard, pleasant emotions kicked up when you smell the sawdust or see a little kid buy a stick full of cotton candy. And then you look up and see Rowena dancing on the small stage in front of the tent, doing just enough of her bit to entice the customers and not offend the sheriff. And suddenly you realize how fast you grew up. I purchased a ticket, making sure to flash all of the $100 retainer, and went inside. The tent filled in a hurry, the lights went down, and on came Rowena. She did her bit, the usual routine, and got off. I waited for the tent to empty and then went back to look for the beautiful dancer. There was another small tent in the rear of the big one, and as I approached, I could hear two girls talking.
Sure, Rowena, sure, I'll keep it for you.
Now, look, Dixie, I don't want anybody to know about it, not anybody.
He's giving you trouble, huh?
Yes, he's been...
What's the matter?
Yes? Who is it?
Rowena?
Yeah? You, want to see me?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be going.
Oh, don't let me bust up anything.
That's okay. I gotta be going anyway.
This is Dixie Jones, Mr.
Diamond. How are you, Dixie?
Bushed. Well, nice meeting you, Mr. Diamond. I'll talk to you later, Rowena.
Cute.
Mm-hmm. Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Diamond?
I just saw the show. Good.
I'm glad you liked it. Is that why you stopped back?
Oh, I thought I'd like to meet you.
It's against the rules.
Whose rules?
The guy who runs the carny.
Not your rules?
Sometimes.
Not this time.
Well, I'll let you know as soon as I find out what's on your mind.
Well, that shouldn't be too difficult. I'm the type who likes to break rules.
Well, you're a little old for the usual schoolboy and too hep for a yokel. What do you do, Mr. Diamond?
Well, nothing obvious, but I make a few bucks, and occasionally I use the few bucks to buy a pretty girl a drink.
Just one drink, Mr. Diamond?
Score for Diamond. She was interested, and I made a mental bet with myself that she'd spotted my bankroll and not my blue eyes. She excused herself, did a quick change behind a screen in the corner of the tent. She came out dressed in mink and a black number that could have snarled up traffic on any quiet intersection. She took my arm, and we headed for the nearest pub, in this case, the Fallen Duck. A cozy little bistro that certainly seemed appropriately named. If a duck had wandered in, it would have taken a nosedive in a hurry. Man, boy, duck, or diamond, nothing could have stood for long.
It's a little crowded.
Oh, it's probably necessary. If all the people left at once, the walls would fall in.
Here's to what, Mr. Diamond?
Well, to you calling me Rick.
I'll drink to that. Rick.
Aren't you a little warm?
Mm-hmm.
But you'll suffer a little and keep the mink on.
It's a nice coat, isn't it?
Charming. You do all right. Diamond bracelet, the mink.
I could use another drink.
Oh, sure.
Without the water.
We sat and I watched her kill a few more, and in between times she moved. The pitch was subtle and as practiced as a lion trainer with a kitten. She worked hard and I played along. It wasn't difficult. Rowena was quite a girl, and as far back as I can remember, I've liked girls, particularly the type you classify as quite a girl. About the time I was offering my fullest cooperation, we were interrupted.
Hey, there's Rowena.
Yeah, swell.
Friends of yours?
It's Dave Sylvester and his wife. He owns the carny.
How are you, Rowena?
Fine. Hello, Paula.
Hello, Rowena.
This is Mr. Diamond and Mr. and Mrs. Sylvester.
Hi.
How do you do?
Can I buy you two a drink?
Well, that would be...
No, thanks, Dave. We were just leaving. Come on, Rick.
Well, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Diamond.
Yeah. Sorry you gotta be going.
Good night, Dave. Paula.
Well, that answers that. Not friends.
I've known Dave for a long time, way before I joined the carny. What makes you think we're not friends?
Oh, just a casual observation. I got the idea when your hair stood straight up.
You better take me home.
And I took her home. Rowena didn't have much to say on the way. She was worried, and She'd dropped the pitch. We got back to the carnival about 1 a.m. and walked down the deserted boardwalk toward her trailer. Up to that point, I'd made up my mind about several things concerning the lovely Rowena. First, she didn't figure to be in love with Adam Rayburn. Second, if she did have troubles, she hadn't given any indication until Dave Sylvester and his wife had shown up at the Fallen Duck. At her trailer, she stopped at the door and turned to face me. Oh, I could see it coming. The pitch was on again. But now she was being cautious, too.
Who are you, Rick?
Me? Oh, I'm just a guy. I told you, just a guy who wanted to buy you a drink.
Nothing else.
What else? Worried?
A little. Why pick on me?
Well, honey, you go on inside and take a look in the mirror. If you're a little objective about it, you'll get the idea.
Rick.
Yeah?
Good night.
Well, good night.
Rick,
Yeah?
will I see you again?
Yeah.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it?
Wait a minute, Adam. Wait a minute.
Let me go.
Oh, take it easy. What's the matter with you? What do you want to slug me for?
Why did you kiss her? Why did you kiss her?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I saw you. I saw you kiss her.
Well, you didn't see very well then. It was the other way around.
I didn't hire you to take her out and make love to her.
Oh, come on, Adam. Get hold of
I don't want to hear it.
Oh. What's the matter?
The tent. It's on fire.
I turned and looked in the direction he was pointing his skinny arm. The small tent Rowena had used for a dressing room was on fire.
Fire! Hey, fire!
Some others had already noticed it, and by the time we got there, the tent was completely engulfed in the roaring flames. Every one of the troop turned out in odd stages of undress and got a bucket line going, but the tent was past saving. The fire department arrived, put out the last of it, and then one of the troop, picking his way through the charred ruins, made a grisly discovery.
Hey, there's a body in here.
Before we continue with Richard Diamond, here are a few words about smoking enjoyment.
You know, smoking is a day-in, day-out pleasure. And it takes day-in, day-out smoking to tell you how rich-tasting and how mild a cigarette is as a steady smoke. One puff won't tell you. One sniff won't tell you.
Smoke only Camels for 30 days, and you'll see why more people smoke Camels than any other cigarette. You'll enjoy the first puff and every puff, for Camel's costly tobaccos are properly aged and expertly blended. No other cigarette has Camel's rich, full flavor, a flavor you'll never tire of.
And no other cigarette gives you this proof of mildness. Proof based on steady smoking. In a coast-to-coast test of hundreds of people who smoked only Camels for 30 days, noted throat specialists reported not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking Camels.
Make your own Camel 30-day test and see for yourself why more people smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Make the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
And now, back to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
1:30 in the morning, standing in the middle of what was left of a gutted sideshow tent, standing with the members of the Sylvester Carnival troupe, looking down at the burned body of a girl. A case with a simple beginning, and then a fire and a girl dying in the fire. The crowd spread out as the fire department moved in to look for a cause, and Dave Sylvester, the owner, identified the body.
Dixie Jones. She slept in the tent. Poor little Dixie. Oh, hello, Mr. Diamond.
Hello, Mr. Sylvester.
It's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Diamond?
Beat it, Adam. I'll talk to you later. No sense in letting people know we're acquainted.
All right.
So all of a sudden I smelled smoke. See, I thought that I was dreaming or something.
Rick,
Oh, hello, Ray.
isn't it awful?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Poor Dixie. Rick,
No?
will you walk me back to my trailer?
Sure. Cold?
Yes.
You act like you got a chill. You better take my coat.
No, it's all right. I'll be all right.
Well, good night, honey.
Rick,
Yeah?
I don't feel much like sleeping. Why don't you come in for a while?
What's the matter, dear? You act as if you're scared.
Of you?
Well, I don't know what it is, but you're scared of it.
That's ridiculous. Good night, Rick.
Psst. Mr. Diamond.
Well, now, don't start swinging again, Adam. I didn't even hold her hand.
I just left the fire. The fire department found out it wasn't an accident.
What?
I heard the chief say the fire was started deliberately. They called the police.
Well, now the simple case with a fire and what looked like an accidental death had turned into murder. I asked Adam why anyone would want to kill Dixie, the chorus girl, but he couldn't even come up with a guess. I warned him again about keeping our relationship a secret and went out to the corner to wait for the police. In about 20 minutes, I spotted a prowl car with a familiar figure in the front seat.
Rick, what are you doing here?
Well, I stayed for the late show. It's a nice fire.
Just got a 211 report. Some girl in the fire.
Yeah. Name was Dixie Jones. Hey, Walt, look, nobody around here knows I'm a private cop.
You want it kept that way?
Yeah, for a while.
Okay, climb on the running board. We'll drive down.
We drove down to the scene of the fire, and I stayed in the car while Walt and Sylvester looked at the body of the dead chorus girl and talked with the fire chief. A couple of times, I spotted Adam standing off to one side watching. And if he noticed me in the car, he did a good job of not showing it. Sometime later, Walt came back and we took a drive. I told him everything up to date, how Adam had hired me to find out what was troubling his lady love, how I'd gotten the big pitch from her obvious dislike for the Sylvesters, and everything leading up to and after the fire.
Well, that's sure not much.
I know it, Walt, but there's one thing sure. Rowena was scared stiff after the fire.
Sometimes fires do that.
No, it was something more, Walt. This dame lives high. Mink coats, jewelry that runs into a lot of carats. She has a real taste for anything that smells like that green stuff. I flashed a roll when I went in to see her show. She acted like a steady date when I went back to her dressing room. Rowena doesn't make enough money at this carny to buy all those things, Walt.
Well, I'm having the whole troop brought in for questioning. Maybe we'll uncover something. This client of yours.
Adam Rayburn?
Yeah. What does he know?
Oh, apparently not much. He's so in love with that dame he can't see anything else.
What does he do?
Well, he's advertised as the skinniest man in the world. He's nearly 8 feet tall and weighs a good 140. He thinks Rowena's in love with him.
Are you kidding? Rowena? A dame like that?
Yeah. Poor guy. Walt dropped me off at my apartment and I got some sleep. The next morning, I went down to the precinct and listened through an open line as Walt interrogated the entire troupe of the Sylvester Carnival. It took all morning and most of the afternoon. Rowena answered her share of questions, and her voice was shaky and cautious. Adam answered his, admitting his association with me only after Walt informed him the fact was known. The last two questioned were Dave and Paula Sylvester.
I have no idea why anyone would want to start a fire.
How about wanting to kill Dixie?
I can't imagine.
How about you, Mrs. Sylvester?
No, Dixie was just a nice kid. Slept in the tent. I don't know why anyone would want to kill her.
Mr. Sylvester, how long have you known Rowena?
Just since she's been with the carny? About 5 years, I guess.
First break. First hint of a cover-up. Dave Sylvester had said he'd only known Rowena since she'd been with the carnival. I left the precinct thinking about the time I'd spent with Rowena and the fallen duck. She'd said she'd known Sylvester for a long time before she joined the carnival. I grabbed a cab and went back to the carnival grounds where I hung around until my client showed up. We found a quiet spot and talked.
No, she's never said much about Dave or Paula.
Oh. Well, how about the girl who was killed, Dixie?
Well, they were friends, that's all. Why, have you found out something?
How much money have you given her, Adam?
Oh, no, wait a minute.
How much?
Well, not much.
How much does she make?
About $200 a week.
Then who's buying those minks?
Well, she is.
And the jewelry?
What do you mean? She told me she bought those things with money she'd saved.
Out of $200 a week?
Well, yes.
And then why ask you for more?
Because she needed it. I didn't ask her why. She likes nice things. We're in love, Mr. Diamond. A man doesn't ask...
Okay, Adam, okay. I lost myself for the rest of the afternoon in the newspaper files, looking up past history on David Sylvester, his wife, and Rowena. There was a story about David and Paula the day they got married, and enough about Rowena to give me a pretty fair background. She'd been in show business for a long time, from parents in the business. Never done much until she joined the carnival, and then her fame spread far and wide. There were some publicity pictures that certainly showed why she had become a headliner. She'd been married once to a man named Black, who had disappeared 10 years ago, a small-time agent who had left her stranded in a hotel somewhere in Ohio. And according to the article, he was wanted by the police for a forgery rap and left her holding the sack. I looked some more, but I couldn't find anything about a divorce or that Black had ever been caught. At 7 o'clock, I let myself in Rowena's trailer. I sat down and waited for her. Hello, Rowena.
Rick. I'm glad to see you, Rick.
Oh? Well, I'm a private cop, honey. Still glad?
You're a...
Private cop. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, I think I do. Whatever happened to your husband, Rowena?
Oh, Rick...
Whatever happened to him? Name was Black, left you stranded in Ohio with a forgery rap pinned on him. What happened to him?
Well, I don't know. He disappeared.
How do you manage to buy minks and diamond bracelets?
Rick, what is all this? Why
How
are you...
come Sylvester hired you and shoved you right to the top when you didn't even have a reputation?
I don't like this, Rick. I don't think it's
I don't like it either. Now tell me about Dixie. Why was she killed?
I don't know. Rick, you don't think
It's the one thing I've got to tie up. Whoever set fire to that tent, did they think it was you in there?
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, see how ridiculous this sounds, honey. Dave Sylvester is your missing husband.
No.
He's paying you to keep your mouth shut.
Get out of here.
You don't care who you pick on, do you? If you can't blackmail a guy, you work him, like Adam Rayburn. Poor guy thinks you're in love with him.
Get out! Get out!
How much did you get? A couple of lousy dollars? Anything for a buck, huh?
If you don't get out of here, I'll have you thrown out.
I want to know why Dixie was killed. And, baby, you're going to tell me.
Rick, please.
Oh, it won't work, honey. Now, what was the connection?
Please.
Baby, if you know why she was killed, that makes you an accessory before the fact. I'm not very happy about you, honey, and I'd be more than willing to do my bit to see you get a few years.
Rick.
Now, you better tell me all about it. Be a lot easier.
All right. Dave Sylvester is my husband. His real name is Martin Black. You're right, I was blackmailing him.
Somebody fired 2 shots through the open window and nailed her twice. I caught her, she dropped, and I lowered her to the sawdust floor. I kept my arm around her because she couldn't do much more than look up and smile, a tired smile.
Thanks. Thanks for the lift.
Honey.
It's all right. Dixie was keeping the marriage license for me, so Dave wouldn't find it. I guess he did anyway. He must have killed her and set fire to the tent.
I'll get a doctor.
I gotta say something, Rick. No excuses. I took Adam. I took everybody. Mixed up. Was going to take you, and something happened, I guess. Maybe I thought you might be the boy on the white horse.
Baby, look.
Telling the truth, Rick. A lady wouldn't lie at a time like this.
No, I guess she wouldn't. I put a pillow under her head and went out. The carnival had suddenly turned into a bad dream, a lot of noise and confusion. There was a killer loose, and I wanted to get him.
Look out, Diamond!
It was Adam Rayburn again, standing near a tent. David Sylvester had been waiting for me to come out. Sylvester jumped as Adam yelled and turned his gun on Adam. He caught Adam with the first one, and the big, thin guy toppled like an anemic sapling. I got my gun out, but Sylvester had disappeared in the darkness.
Go get him! I'm all right.
I circled the tent and spotted Sylvester running up the main drag. He turned and tried a quick shot. People started running when they got the idea, and I kept low, trying to stay in the clear. The place emptied faster than a ballpark in a thunderstorm, and Sylvester was caught on the empty walk. He turned for another shot, but I beat him to it. The slug knocked him sideways, and he staggered into a building, and I went in after him. It turned into the weirdest chase I'd ever gotten mixed up in. I found myself looking at a dozen Richard Diamonds and an equal number of Dave Sylvesters. I was faced by a room full of mirrors, and to top it off, a recorded laugh was playing over and over. A gimmick to show the public how much fun they could have inside. Oh, some fun. The dozen Sylvesters had all turned and taken a shot at the dozen Diamonds, and the dozen Diamonds suddenly became one less. It was a process of elimination. Sooner or later, one of us would stop hitting mirrors and get the real thing. I picked one of the Sylvesters, and we both went to work.
Lousy mirrors.
Yeah, you shot every diamond but the right one.
Turn me over, will you? Get my face out of this stuff.
Sure.
I don't mind dying, but I hate to watch myself doing it.
Dick Powell will return in just a minute.
Again, doctors in all branches of medicine have been asked this question.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor?
Again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
Baseball is getting underway, and it's interesting to note that Camels are the favorite cigarette of many baseball players. Bob Lemon, Vic Raschi, Howard Paulette, Dick Sisler are a few of the stars who choose Camels for their rich flavor, cool mildness. Try Camels yourself.
How mild, how mild, how mild, how mild can a cigarette be? Take the Camel 30-day test and you'll see. Smoke Camels and see.
Here's Dick Powell with a special message.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the makers of Camels are sending gift cigarettes to our wounded and disabled servicemen. These cigarettes are forwarded to and distributed by the Military Air Transport Service, United States Air Force, which evacuates virtually all overseas wounded personnel. Gift Camels are also on the way to Veterans Hospitals, Fort Meade, South Dakota, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. U.S. Army Station Hospital, Camp Campbell, Kentucky. U.S. Naval Hospital, Beaufort, South Carolina. Now, until next week, enjoy Camels. I always do.
Dick Powell can now be seen starring in RKO's Cry Danger. Tonight's adventure of Richard Diamond was written by Blake Edwards with music by Frank Worth. Our director is Helen Mack. Featured in the cast were Arthur Q. Bryan, Michael Ann Barrett, Sandra Gould, Sheldon Leonard, Paul Duboff, and Bob Bruce.
Then, for pipe pleasure, get the National Joy Smoke, Prince Albert. PA has a rich flavor and wonderful natural fragrance. It's crimp cut for cool, smooth smoking and specially treated to ensure against tongue bite. You'll enjoy Prince Albert, America's largest selling smoking tobacco.
Listen next week for another exciting transcribed adventure of Richard Diamond starring Dick Powell. This is Your FBI. The official broadcast from the files of the FBI follows immediately. Stay tuned. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Calling all adventure fans. Calling all Dick Tracy fans. Stand by. Dick Tracy is on the air.
The makers of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the two tempting, delicious, nourishing cereals that are shot from guns, now bring you another thrilling Dick Tracy detective adventure. Big guns. Hear them? Well, the next time you have a big dish of crisp, nourishing Quaker Puffed Wheat or Quaker Puffed Rice for breakfast, remember the sound of the big guns, because those two delicious cereals are actually shot from guns. Sun-ripened grains of nourishing wheat and rice are loaded into the guns, and then these little kernels of grain are exploded to 8 times their normal size. That makes them look different and taste better than ordinary cereals. That special Quaker process makes puffed wheat and puffed rice specially easy to digest, so that you get trigger-fast food energy more quickly and easily. And you need lots of quick food energy if you want to be as fast on your feet as your friend Dick Tracy is. And here's a good idea. Puffed wheat and puffed rice are two different delicious flavors. So ask Mother to get a package of each at the grocer's. And then you and Mother and Dad can have Quaker puffed wheat for breakfast one morning and Quaker puffed rice the next. That really gives you variety, doesn't it? So look in the pantry today to see if one of those famous red and blue packages is there now. If it's Quaker puffed wheat, ask Mother to get a package of Quaker puffed rice. And if it's Quaker puffed rice, ask her to get some Quaker puffed wheat. And then you have both for a delightful change that thousands of wide-awake boys, girls, and grown-ups enjoy every day. And remember, fellows and girls, there's another secret code message at the end of the program today. So be sure you have your pencil, paper, and code book ready. Dick Tracy has been trying to protect Dryden Small, a well-known Egyptologist, from dark forces which seek his death. Small has received strange warnings, and several times his life has been attempted unsuccessfully due to the daring efforts of Dick Tracy. Both Dick and Pat are convinced that Small has kept from them the real reason for these mysterious attacks. In our last episode, we heard how a strange message, seemingly written by an invisible hand, had appeared on the wall above Small's bed.
Let's see what the invisible hand is writing. Your hour is at hand. Your end is near. The black pearl of Osiris must shine again.
Yes, and look there on the floor. It's another scarab, Tracy. Another scarab.
Yes, so I see. Another symbol of death and destruction.
Why don't you do something? But it's no use. You can't fight the supernatural. They told me there was a curse upon the tomb of Tutankhamun. I should never have gone into it. All the others who have been in it have come to sudden death.
Oh, stop it, Small. There's nothing supernatural here.
I know, but Dick, the writing on the wall, we saw the message being written.
Yes, and now look, it's beginning to fade. Ghost writing, that's what it is. The handwriting of a ghost.
Oh, come, Small, pull yourself together. This isn't the work of a ghost. The man with the yellow face, whoever he may be, paid a visit to this cabin in our absence.
How do you know he was here?
Why, it's simple enough. The scarab on the floor, he left it there. The handwriting on the wall, he put it there.
No. He might have put the scarab there, but the handwriting, that couldn't have been done by anybody human. We saw the message being written, and there was no one here.
Of course there wasn't. The message was written before we got here. We saw it when we turned on the bed lamp.
I don't get it, Dick.
Pat, put your hand over that lamp, about 6 inches away.
All right. I've got it there now.
What do you feel?
Nothing but heat.
Ah, precisely. Heat. The heat from the lamp. Do you recall ever having used heat in connection with invisible messages before, Pat?
Oh, why, sure. Say, I get it. This message was written in invisible ink and couldn't be seen until the heat of the lamp brought it out on the wall.
Go to the head of the class, Pat. That's exactly what happened here. The man with the yellow face wrote his message in invisible ink. Small came in, turned on the lamp, and in half an hour or so, the heat from the lamp brought the message out. There's your supernatural for you, Mr. Small.
You make it sound simple.
It is simple. If the rest of this case were as simple as that handwriting, we'd have no problem. But it's not simple, Small, because you choose to make it difficult.
I choose to make it difficult?
Yes. You refuse to tell us all you know about this. You refuse to tell us what we've got to know if we're to protect you against the man with the yellow face. There's a definite reason why you're being followed. There's a definite reason for these attempts on your life, such as the one in the dining salon tonight. There's some reason for these scarabs and that message on the wall. Now, what is it?
I'm sorry, but I don't know any more than I've told you.
And I've told you once, and I'll tell you again, that you're not being entirely truthful.
Now, look here.
I want you to tell me the meaning of that message about the black pearl of Osiris.
Yeah, that was a queer one. What is the black pearl of Osiris anyway, Dick?
I don't know about the black pearl, Pat. I do know, however, that Osiris was a god worshipped by the ancient Egyptians, and that even today there are certain secret societies which still worship him.
Your knowledge of Egyptian history is remarkable, Tracy.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know quite enough. But you know what I want to know, Small. What is the Black Pearl of Osiris? I demand an answer.
I don't know, Tracy. I swear it. If I knew, don't you think I'd tell you? I feel rather faint. I wonder if one of you would mind going up on deck with me, just for a little while.
Well, I had a date with her.
All right, Pat, you'll have to forget your date. I've got to see the captain at once. You'll have to stay with Small. Keep close to him on deck, and don't let him out of your sight.
Okay. I hope I get a chance to explain to that girl that I didn't mean to disappoint her. You feel better now, Small?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Patton. The air is doing me good.
Looks like we're going to have a fog. You can see wisps of it floating past the binnacle light up there.
Yes.
You know, Small, you really ought to come clean with Tracy.
Patton.
Yeah?
That man leaning against the rail. He just looked this way, and his face.
Well, what about his face?
I'm not sure, but it looked yellow.
Now, take it easy. Don't start getting jittery. Don't begin seeing a yellow face in every passenger on this ship.
Look, he's moving away from the rail. He's disappearing into the fog. Look, what was that? Something dropped at our feet.
Yeah, I heard it. Let me see. Hey, here it is. What? Why, say, it looks like a scarab.
A scarab? Patton, it's another warning. That was the man with the yellow face.
Yeah, we'd better get down and get to your cabin. I'll get in touch with Tracy.
No. Not back to the cabin. I'm afraid to go there. Let's stay in the open.
Okay, but I better get Tracy here as quick as I can. Come on over by the light.
What are you going to do?
Well, Dick's in the captain's cabin. I'm going to send him a message. A message in code.
Well, come in, Mr. Tracy. Glad to see you.
How are you, Captain?
Worried, Tracy. Very much worried. I'm glad you're here. I don't like the things that have been happening on this ship of mine.
Well, I'm sorry about the need for searching the ship, but you must understand, Captain, that at any moment one of your passengers may be, well, put out of the way.
That isn't what I referred to, Tracy. There are other things that are wrong.
Such as?
Well, have you heard about what's been going on down in the hold?
The hold?
Mm-hmm.
I know. What's happened down there?
One of the crew, a fellow named Weeks, was found about an hour ago, totally unconscious.
Unconscious?
Yes, lying in the door of the storage room. He's not a strong fellow. As a matter of fact, he has a weak heart. That's why we have him down there. All he does is check the books and little odd jobs like that, you know.
Yes, but what made him unconscious?
Well, according to his story, Tracy, as he was approaching the storage room, he noticed the door was open, which was unusual. As he began to investigate, he suddenly saw, standing in the doorway itself, a strange-looking figure. The next thing he remembers, he was lying on a cot. The ship's doctor was working over him.
Huh. He's not given to seeing things, is he?
No, I don't think so. He's a stable, dependable fellow. At any rate, he's never seen things before.
Well, in that case, I don't think it'd be a bad idea to investigate that storage room. Now, about the search for the man with the yellow face, Captain.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that, Tracy. We don't seem to be making much progress. Matter of fact, Tracy, we're not making any progress at all.
Yes, I was afraid of that.
Oh, excuse me. Come in.
There's a message from Mr. Tracy, sir.
Oh, give it here. Where did you get this?
It was given to me by a gentleman down on deck A, sir.
Thank you. Excuse me, Captain.
Yes, certainly.
It's a code message from Pat. Prisoner 20, 21, 12, 16, 7, 10, 18, 22. Will you excuse me, Captain? I've got to join Mr. Patton on deck immediately.
Nothing wrong, is there, Tracy?
I don't know. That's what I want to find out. And I've got to find out fast.
Well, I'll go along with you, Tracy. I've got to go up to the bridge, and this will be on my way.
Glad to have your company, Captain, but let's hurry.
We can take this companionway here, Tracy. It leads down to deck A.
Fine.
Here we are, deck A. I don't see Mr. Patton, do you?
No, but this fog is getting thicker. He may be down at the other end. Come on.
Well, I'll leave you here, Tracy.
Man overboard! Man overboard!
Yes. Man overboard, Tracy. Get down there as fast as you can. I'll see to ordering the boats over the side.
Right.
Man overboard! Man overboard!
Hey, you there.
Where is he?
Oh, he's there. He's sick. Man overboard! Man overboard!
Dryden's small. What's happened here?
The man with the yellow face. Patton.
Off with him. Yes, what happened?
Overboard. Patton was thrown overboard.
What? Pat overboard?
Wait, Tracy, what are you doing? Why are you taking off your coat?
Why do you think? I'm going after Pat.
Stop! Don't! Another man overboard! Another! Tracy, they'll both be drowned! Patton and Tracy, too!
Will Dick save Pat? Or has the detective's friend been swallowed up by the black waters in the night? Dick will save him if anyone can. But now the makers of Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, those two popular, delicious, quick energy-giving cereals that are shot from guns, invite you to attend another meeting of the Dick Tracy Secret Service Patrol. Here comes Dick Tracy, Jr. now.
The 20th meeting will now come to order, patrol members. And let's be sure we all have pencils and paper ready to take down today's secret code message.
Are you going to give Dick Tracy's friends the message that Pat sent Dick today, or have you a special secret patrol message, Junior?
Oh, both, Mr. Quakerman. First, I'm going to repeat the message that Pat sent to Dick Tracy.
Good. Are you ready, patrol members? Here it is.
Prisoner 20, 21, 12, 16. 7, 10, 18, 20, 2.
Once more, Junior, to make sure everyone got it.
All right, Mr. Quakerman. It's prisoner 20, 21, 12, 16. 7, 10, 18, 20, 2.
Fine. And now what's the special patrol message, Junior?
Here it is. Are you all ready? It's Buffalo. 21, 12, 14, 10, 12, 4. 10, 20, 13, 3, 6, 10, 20, 13, 3, 21. 1, 8, 14, 5.
Better repeat that one, too, Junior, I think.
Okay. Ready, everyone? It's Buffalo. 21, 12, 14, 10, 12, 4. 10, 20, 13, 3. 6, 10, 20, 13, 3, 21. 1, 8, 14, 5.
Well, that sounds very important, Junior.
It is. It's a special order for patrol members.
But how about the fellows and girls who aren't members and can't decode the messages?
Well, we can't very well give away the patrol secret.
Of course not. I can't imagine any real wide-awake boy or girl not joining, can you?
Not unless they don't know how to join on the Dick Tracy Secret Service Patrol. So maybe you better tell them, just in case there are some fellas and girls listening in for the first time.
Good idea. Well, here's how you can join the patrol and get the secret code, the patrol pledge, and the membership badge so you don't miss any of the fun. Just tear the tops off 2 packages of Quaker Puffed Wheat or Quaker Puffed Rice, or one of each. Put them in an envelope with...
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Now, from the makers of Cold Water Omo...
Mrs. Peel looked up from her meal. The door slamming meant that Ula Monsey Chamberlain had left the house. She'd gone to visit a sick friend in the village, leaving Mrs. Peel alone at dinner. Mrs. Peel tasted the fish approvingly and sipped the wine. Being alone in the huge, rambling mansion didn't worry her a bit, but she was puzzled.
Kinky. The whole setup is definitely kinky. Particularly Ula. I must admit she cooks delicious fish.
Perhaps Mrs. Peel was at that moment just a little too self-contained. Had she been more apprehensive, more anxious about her circumstances, she might have noticed that the revolving door at the top of the stairs had been turned round. The illustration of the Joker playing card had swiveled inwards. The ace of spades, the death card, now faced outwards.
The
Avengers. John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers.
So many women say, once an Omo user, always an Omo user. Because there's just no dirt that can stand up to the cleaning power of cold water Omo. It solves Mrs. Sutherland's washing problems for her.
Very dirty oil or grease marks.
Yes?
If you use cold water Omo, there's no trouble at all. It comes out very, very easily indeed.
There's no washing problem too difficult for cold water Omo. Over 1 million South African housewives have proved it.
Shirley Ann Field chooses Lux for her complexion.
I always use Lux. I find it so very rich and creamy, and I love the perfume.
Like Shirley Ann, choose Lux for your complexion. Lux, a beauty treatment as you bathe.
Episode 3 of this story, in which John Steed realizes that someone has played a rather vicious joke on him, and Emma Peel meets a strange young man who could be the Joker. Mrs. Peel didn't know whether to be annoyed or amused at the circumstances in which she found herself. They were unusual, to say the least of it. When a young, attractive woman is invited down to a country house for the weekend, she doesn't expect to dine alone on the very first evening. Yet that was the state of affairs in Sir Cavalier Rausikana's home, for her host had gone to attend a bridge conference, and his ward, Ulla, had just left. Mrs. Peel, unaware of any hidden danger, finished her dinner, poured herself a liqueur brandy in a balloon glass, selected a miniature cigar from a box on the drinks table, and moved off to inspect the rooms on the ground floor.
I'm the only person here. I could be holding a house party for 50 in this place. One thing is certain, Sir Cavalier has a lot of money. I wonder how he made it all.
Mrs. Peel was in the study when the tinkle of a bell sounded from another part of the house. It wasn't a doorbell. It seemed to come from the direction of the servants' quarters. Mrs. Peel made her way towards it, pushing open the green baize door that led to the kitchen. The room was silent when she entered. Above the door to the scullery was a large wooden box that contained bells numbering individual rooms. The spring of the bell marking bedroom number 3 continued to tremble gently. Had someone upstairs been trying to call a servant? Mrs. Peel frowned, and shaking her head, dismissed the idea. She walked through into the scullery. The loud ticking of the clock made her look across the room. Her attention was caught by something on the scrubbed wooden table. It was a knife, stuck upright into the surface. There was blood smeared all over the blade.
I said Ulla was kinky. This proves it. She guts the fish, prepares it and cooks it, cleans away all the mess, but leaves this. I must have been crazy to lend her my car.
You're right there, Mrs. Peel. At that moment, Ulla, at the wheel of the car, was giggling rather hysterically. Ulla was making no real attempt to leave the driveway. She could hardly see in the thick fog. Eventually, she parked the car, got out, and started to walk back in the direction of the house, still giggling. Kinky. Meanwhile, back in London, poor old Steed was limping about his flat, feeling rather sorry for himself. He made coffee in his kitchen and was carrying it through when the sugar basin containing the lump sugar fell from the tray.
What the devil with it?
The sugar basin fell near the stairs. The lumps of sugar scattered over the bottom steps. As Steed bent down to retrieve them, a glint of metal caught his eye.
What the devil is this? Small metal box? How did that get there? Fixed into the side of the stairs.
Steed pulled the device free from its place of concealment and examined it. He touched the spring at the side, and a length of fine tripwire shot out.
Booby trap. Stretched across the stairs, it's guaranteed to trip up anyone coming down. The moment the wire's touched, it withdraws immediately. So that's how I nearly broke an ankle.
Steed hobbled across to the telephone and made a call. George Fancy answered quite promptly.
George Fancy speaking.
George, Steed here.
Oh, Steed. How's the ankle?
Much the same, thanks. George, it's not April the 1st, is it?
What's that?
It's not All Fool's Day.
Well, of course it isn't.
Yes, I thought not.
Steed, are you delirious or something?
My fall down the stairs. It wasn't an accident. Someone fixed a tripwire on the steps. Somebody playing a joke on me.
Now, look here, Steed. You don't mean it, surely?
I most certainly do. Stranger should call that little warning about Max Prendergast being in London, isn't it?
Steed, you don't think... What about Mrs. Peel?
Yeah, that's the reason for this call. Look, I want the address and all the information you can muster on Sir Cavalier Rousicana.
Who?
Sir Cavalier Rousicana. He's a bridge champion, lives on Exmoor somewhere. Now get everything you can on him immediately and phone me back, will you?
Yes, of course. But Mrs. Peel...
Is visiting him. Now, I must get down to her before some joker gets hold of her, too. You understand?
Mrs. Peel decided to retire to her room and read. She found a suitably relaxing book in the library and made her way up the stairs. She passed through the revolving door, swinging the ace of spades after her. In her room, she noticed that the curtains on the four-poster bed had been closed. She switched on her portable radio.
A further drop in subsidies to counteract the recent potato glut. That concludes the news headlines, and now here is a summary of the weather.
Oh, dear.
Widespread fog is reported tonight in the outlying districts of West and Southwest England. This is particularly dense in and around Exmoor, where the visibility is down to nil.
Oh, best place bed. Oh.
Mrs. Peel moved over and opened the lid of the coffin-shaped chest.
Now, what are all these old 78s? What's this one? Mademoiselle. And this? The same. They're all the same. How very, very odd.
Mrs. Peel moved to the bed and drew aside the heavy curtains.
Oh, a large teddy bear. Ola upped her tricks again. Oh, that's really a hot water bottle. Well, that could come in handy.
Mrs. Peel broke off in the middle of her thoughts when she heard a strange creaking noise from somewhere in the house. She moved to the bedroom door and opened it. The noise was louder. It sounded like a rocking chair moving, coming from a room at the far end of the corridor. Mrs. Peel walked stealthily towards the far door and threw it open quite suddenly, feeling for the light switch.
Nothing. But the rocking chair, it's still moving.
The furniture appeared to be covered in dust sheets. Mrs. Peel was about to uncover them when the front doorbell rang. Without switching off the light, she ran from the room, along the corridor, through the playing card door, and down the stairs. The bell rang again, more impatiently this time. The fog swirled in through the open doorway. Out of it loomed the shape of a man, a young man. He looked a very odd young man.
Yes? Yes, what is it? What do you want?
Don't you recognize me?
No. Should I?
No. I'm traveling incognito. It's foggy and damp, and standing there in a doorway, you'll get cold.
Look, would you mind telling me who you are and what you want?
I could be the Baron von Dufy, looking for a new stately home. I might buy this place. Cash. The entire grounds, fabric and all.
It's not for sale.
You doubt me. But it could be true, couldn't it? You don't know for a fact that I'm not the Baron von Dufy?
I neither know nor care. Do you know what time it is?
Sorry. It's the jalopy, my car. Over there, down the drive. ran out of petrol.
Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? I can't see a car.
You wouldn't in this fog, would you? But it's there. It's your phone I'm after. Big property deal. I want to buy land here, you see. I also want a gallon of petrol. Or I have to walk home. My feet would get sore. Do you have a phone?
Yes, there's a phone. Come in.
You all alone in this great big house?
The phone is there on the table.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Why are you staring at me like that? I don't like being stared at. We, Baron von Dufys, are human, you know.
The strange young man walked over to the telephone. Emma studied him. He was tall, with long, lank hair, an inscrutable face, and a nasty habit of clicking the fingers of his right hand together for no reason. The left hand was covered with a black leather glove. He paused as he was about to lift the receiver and said,
Plastic surgery. That's why you didn't recognize me. Plastic surgery. Had my face fixed. Amazing what they can do nowadays.
Will you please make your call?
Incidentally, I'm not the Baron von Dufy. He's a much smaller man. Also, he's dead.
If you don't make that call...
All right. I'll make the call. This is like a movie situation, isn't it? Tender young girl alone in an old house. Mysterious stranger calls. May I use your phone? She admits him. And then, da-da-da-da. The wires have been cut.
What are you talking about?
It's true.
The strange young man picked up the telephone wires and held them out to Emma. They'd been cut all right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And with a vicious uppercut, Jimmy Anderson finishes trimming his whole hedge in just 3 hours, 11 minutes. Great work, Jimmy. You play any other sport?
Yes, dominoes.
You're looking pretty cool, Jimmy. What deodorant do you use?
Shield for sportsmen, of course.
Why?
It works.
Shield for Sportsman deodorant won't stick, sting, or stain. In aerosol or roll-on, it's made to keep sportsmen cool and dry. Think what it can do for you.
The cleaning power of cold water Omo gives you the superb cleanness you want from a washing powder. Listen to Mrs. Baxter of Claremont.
It really is good, you know. I mean, it's unbelievable, really, that it could be so good, you know.
Once an Omo user, always an Omo user.
The Avengers.
Listen every evening, Monday to Friday, to John Steed and Emma Peel, The Avengers. Brought to you by the makers of Cold Water Omo.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Wait a minute. Have you heard the strange tales of the Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
Please don't leave me, Gerald. You mean so much to me, darling. Since you've been here, I've been the happiest woman in the world. You've nothing to fear. Andrew will never find out about us. Never.
Sunday night, and again, CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the amazing story of the thief. Catherine Ford sits in the library of the Ford Mansion and ponders over the past. For 12 years now, she has been the wife of Andrew Ford, wealthy manufacturer. Andrew Ford is now retired, and spending his time and money collecting gems. He has a daughter, Alice, whose mother died a few years after Alice was born. Alice is a lovely girl, and Catherine wonders what her own child might have been like at the age of 20. Catherine had a child 20 years ago, a child she hasn't seen for 19 years. She never told us.
Hello?
This, Mrs. Ford?
Yes?
Like to have a talk with you, Mrs. Ford.
What about?
I have some information that might interest you.
Information?
My name is Harry Jones.
If you want to see me, come here to my home.
Well, I could, but I'd rather you come to my place. My address is 217 East 20th Street, apartment 110.
What's this about?
I'll tell you when you get here. I have some good news for you.
I'll not come till I know what your business is.
Oh, this is no kidnapping trick. I've really got some news for you, interesting news.
What about?
About George Watson.
George? Very well. I'll come right now. The address again?
Apartment 110, 217 East 20th Street.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Ford. Come in.
Well, what do you want, Mr. Jones?
Recognize me, Mrs. Ford?
Well, your face is certainly familiar, but I...
Well, don't I look a little like George Watson?
Yes. Yes, you do. You do resemble George Watson.
Well, I ought to. I'm his brother. His brother Harry.
What? His brother?
Yes. Don't you believe me?
Where is George?
Don't you know where he is, Mrs. Ford?
Well, I imagined he was dead.
Dead?
Of course, after 7 years,
You imagined it, but you weren't sure.
No. Do you know where he is?
I've got a pretty good idea, but he isn't dead.
I was only 17 when I married George. I didn't know he was a safecracker till after the baby was born, and he took the baby and disappeared. Then I learned he'd killed an officer in a robbery in Kansas City. I tried to locate him, but he'd gotten away.
Yes? Well, Mrs. Ford, this doesn't really concern George.
What about the baby? What do you know of him?
You're married again, aren't you? To a millionaire?
Yes, I've been married 12 years.
Oh, by the way, did you ever get a divorce from George?
No, I hadn't heard of him, and after 7 years, the man is supposed to be dead.
Did you get a court decision on that?
No. I didn't know it was necessary.
Oh, I'm sure it is necessary. Unless you got a court decision, you're still married to George. You'd better look into the matter.
How long since you've seen George?
Well, it's been a long time. But I'm sure he's alive. After he left you, he came to my place with the baby. He stayed with us for a while, and then he pulled this bank job and had to disappear. I heard from him a few times, but I haven't seen him.
Where's my son?
About a year ago, I found out who you were. Now, well, things have been kind of tough for me lately, so I thought I'd get in touch with you and see if you couldn't do something for me. I've not been able to work for some time. I had an accident over a year ago.
Where is my son?
Oh, he's here, Mrs. Ford.
Oh, may I see him?
Oh, yes. That's why I asked you to come here.
Do you call him Gerald?
Yes, call him Jerry for short. Oh, he knows I'm his uncle. I've told him that his father is dead and that someday I'll find his mother, but now I've spent considerable money on Jerry, and, well, now that I've found you, I thought you might like to take him over and sort of reimburse me a bit.
Oh, of course, I'd be glad to. How much do you want?
Well, George sent us very little, so I'd say 18 years at $400 a year would be to $7,200. Would that be all right?
$7,200? Well, I don't think I could get that sum all in a lump.
I could certainly use it. I'm way in debt, doctors and so forth.
But I could pay you as time goes on.
All right. By the way, does your husband know about your marriage and your son?
No, I've never told him. I can give you $1,000 now.
Oh, all right. Of course, I'll expect you to take him off my hands now. I've told him all about this.
I understand. But if I do take him to my place, how will I explain to my husband?
Oh, I've got that all figured out, and I've told Jerry about it. He understands. You tell your husband that your nephew is arriving in town, and he's going to live with you, and later on you can make your own plans.
Very well. Oh, may I use this pen? I'll write a check.
Oh, yes. You should be grateful for this. You can give your son the things that he deserves.
Very well. He'll be my nephew, George Watson. I'll pick him up here tomorrow. But first, I must see him.
Oh, certainly. Jerry! Jerry, come in here.
Yes, Uncle Harry?
Come in, son. Come in. Jerry, this is your mother.
Yes, I know. I knew you were coming, Mother.
Oh, Gerald, darling.
Uncle Harry, she's beautiful. Are you sure?
Oh, yes, son. I'm sure she's your mother. And her name is Catherine. Looks just like George, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, just like... Oh, Gerald. Gerald, my darling.
I just can't believe it. You're so lovely. You're not at all like I imagined. I thought that...
Oh, darling, this is the happiest moment of my life. You don't know what it means, Gerald. For 19 long years.
No. I understand, Mother.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Well, now what do we do? You understand my situation, Gerald.
Yeah, I'm sort of a ghost out of the past. So I guess I'll have to be your cousin or your nephew or something.
Then tomorrow I'll pick you up bag and baggage and take you to my place. You're my nephew from, well, we'll say Kansas City.
Well, that's good. Kansas City.
Oh, and darling, I'll try to make up for all those long years. I'll try so hard. I'll call for you at 3 and we'll get some new clothes and everything.
Oh, thanks. I could sure use some.
Oh, it's late. I must run along now. Could I see you a moment outside, Harry?
Oh, I'll leave. Good night, Mother.
Good night, darling. Here's your check for 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you more as soon as I can. Oh, believe me, I'm so grateful. He's a lovely boy. 20 years. Doesn't seem possible.
No. I'll see you now and again, Mrs. Ford. I'll expect a little as often as possible.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll do my best.
Yes, you wouldn't want your husband to know.
Why do you keep saying that? I don't like that. It sounds almost like blackmail.
Oh, Mrs. Ford. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Andrew Ford, Catherine's husband, sits in his library with his secretary, Paul Blake, discussing the recent purchase of a gem collection. Paul, a young man of 25, is in love with Andrew Ford's daughter, Alice.
Well, Mr. Ford, I'd say you made a good deal on this collection. Some nice pieces here.
Yes, I think so, too. Going to have some of these things reset for Alice. Her birthday is coming up in a few weeks.
Yes, I know.
I'll bet you do. I'd like to give this bracelet to Catherine, but she won't wear a speck of jewelry.
It's strange, isn't it? Most women can't have enough, and they're always wanting more.
Catherine is certainly different in that respect. Well, maybe someday I'll come across something she'll like. Well, better put these in the safe, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, this is the first of the month. Did you have the combination of the safe changed?
No, they phoned that they'd have to postpone it for a few days, and maybe it wouldn't get around till next month.
Oh, what's the reason for that?
Short of help, they said.
Well, I suppose it'll have to be all right. It was changed just 30 days ago, and you and I are the only ones who have it.
Yes, and I'd suggest, if I may, that you keep your copy of the numbers on your person.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, do you know where your copy is?
Why, yes, of course. Well, what did I do with that?
Here it is. I found it in the corner of the desk blotter. It's obviously a combination. Anyone would know that.
Well, that is stupid of me.
Why don't you memorize it and destroy it?
Oh, I've tried, but we change them so often I get all mixed up. I'll try to hang on to it.
There are too many servants about, and too many new ones coming and going.
That's true. Well, I'll just be more careful in the future. I don't suppose anyone saw this card.
I hope not.
I wish we could get it changed at once.
I've done my best, but I'll keep after them.
Yes, do that, Paul. I'd feel better about it.
Hello, am I intruding?
Yes, you are, Alice. But I suppose there's nothing to be done about it.
Oh, that's a fine thing to say.
Put them away, Paul.
What have you got there?
None of your business.
Oh, something new? Something you picked up at an auction?
Never mind.
Oh, let me see.
Put them away, Paul. She'll have them all on in 5 minutes and try to talk me out of them.
Yes, sir. Sorry, Alice. Well, all locked up.
Well, I'll run along. Soon be time for dinner. Oh, by the way, are we having any guests this evening?
Just one.
Really? Who is it?
Oh, I don't know. Catherine says it's a surprise.
Well, I wonder who it is. I can't imagine. Well, I'll see you both later.
Yes, sir.
What has Father bought now? Some more trinkets?
Yes, a nice collection. You're very lovely tonight, Alice.
Am I? Thank you. Show me what he got.
Oh, I can't do that. He wouldn't like it.
All right, I can wait if you're going to be mean.
Alice, why don't you let me speak to your father?
What about?
Why, about us, you and me.
Go ahead, speak to him.
But I can't do that without your consent. You know I love you, but I can't ask him till you say the word.
What word?
What word? Well, that you'll marry me if your father gives his consent. You do love me, Alice.
Paul, I don't know anyone I like better, but...
But what?
Well, I'm just not ready to get married yet.
Lots of girls get married before they're 20. But anyway, I'll keep on asking you. You mind?
No, not at all. I just want to be sure.
Oh, hello, Alice. Oh, where's your father, Alice? Has he come in yet?
Yes, Mother, and he's in his room.
Oh, do you mind asking him to come down, Paul?
Oh, certainly not, Mrs. Ford.
Oh, before you go, Paul, I want you to meet my nephew. Alice, this is Gerald Watson, my stepdaughter, and this is Paul Blake.
Well, it's a pleasure. How do you do?
Your nephew? How nice. I didn't know you had a nephew, Mother.
As a matter of fact, she'd forgotten about it herself. You see, Alice, I've been living in the West. I just got in town this afternoon.
Is Gerald the surprise guest, Mother?
Yes, Alice. Gerald's going to stay with us until he gets settled here.
Oh, how delightful. What do you plan to do?
Oh, I don't know. I'll get into something. For a week or so, I'm just going to look the country over. Beautiful place here.
Oh, wait till you see it all. There's everything here. Hunting, fishing, riding.
That's for me.
Oh, great. We can have a lot of fun. How about a ride first thing in the morning? Before breakfast, the trails are gorgeous.
All right with you, Alice.
Mother, where on earth did you discover such a charming nephew?
Pardon me. I'll get Mr. Ford.
Oh, Paul, I thought you'd gone for him.
I'll just ring him on the house phone. Mr. Ford? Mrs. Ford would like you to come down to the library. Yes, now. Very well.
Wait till you see my new horse, Jerry. Wonderful. And we have one you'll be crazy about. It's Western, too. How long did you say you intended to stay?
Well, I don't know. Maybe several weeks.
Oh, marvelous.
He's going to take an apartment in town.
Perhaps I can help him locate something. I know of a few places that might interest
I'll help you find something, Jerry.
Oh, thanks.
Do you like to dance, Jerry?
Like it? I'm crazy about it.
Oh, wonderful. I know the best places in town.
Well, Catherine, what is it? What's happened? Oh, who's this? The surprise guest?
Yes, Andrew. Just off the train. This is my nephew, Gerald Watson.
Glad to know you, Mr. Ford.
Nephew? Well, I'm glad to know you, son.
He's my sister's son.
Sister? Well, I didn't even...
Yes, I had a sister. I lost track of her. You know how it is when families get separated.
Well, you're quite welcome here, Gerald.
Thank you.
Just on a visit, or are you planning to settle here?
Oh, he's going to settle here. Aren't you, Jerry? He's going to get into something. Well, maybe you could help him, Father.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, perhaps I could.
You'd better finish dressing, Andrew. Dinner'll be ready in a few minutes.
Oh, of course. Will you excuse me? I'll be down in a moment. I won't be 5 minutes.
Come along, Jerry. I'll show you to the guest room. Do you like a sunny room in the morning? I know just the one. You'll love it.
Anything you say, Alice, will delight me.
You, say your nephew is just in from the West, Mrs. Ford?
Yes, Paul. Why?
Oh, nothing. I just asked. Charming fellow.
2 days pass, 3, 4, then 2 weeks go by. Alice has helped Jerry find an apartment, but he still continues to spend most of his time at the Ford estate. Now, toward the end of the 3rd week.
He's been here almost 3 weeks, Alice. You've helped him find an apartment. You've gone riding, fishing, and swimming.
I know that, Paul.
You're gone early in the morning, and you're out with him every evening.
Jerry is a lot of fun. He's great company.
Yes, undoubtedly. But I don't have a chance. He has no work to do, no responsibilities, and I have to attend to a number of things during the day.
I understand, Paul. You're quite busy. It's all right. I don't mind.
I do. Do you have to spend every evening out with him?
Oh, why, Paul, are you jealous?
No. That is, well, you could give me a little time. What about this evening? We could go to...
Oh, sorry, Paul. Jerry and I are going to the 17 Club.
The 17 Club?
Yes, there's quite an affair there tonight, a charity to do.
I know. I bought tickets. I was sure you'd go with me.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Paul. I'd love to, but I've already promised Jerry.
Alice, just what is it about Jerry that's so attractive?
Well, I don't know. I like you very much, too, Paul. I mean that. But with Jerry, I don't know.
It's different, is that it?
Oh, Paul, you're always absorbed in your work. You and Father are forever poring over those collections. You never ride, never play golf, no swimming. You're such a serious sort of person. It makes me sad.
Well, I have certain responsibilities. What can I do? Run out on your father?
Well, that's up to you, Paul.
Oh, is it? I can take my choice, huh?
Yes, Paul. You know, you're an awful stick in the mud.
Very well, Alice. I'll take my choice. But I thought I meant more to you than this. You understand my position. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry I brought the matter up. Good night.
Good night, Paul.
I hope you have a pleasant evening.
3 more weeks pass, and Paul and Alice continue on unfriendly. Jerry still has found no business connection to his liking, and he manages to spend much of his time at the Ford estate. The richness of his environment seems to have gone to his head. He's been spending money as though it were water, and Catherine finds her allowance taxed to the limit.
What is it, Gerald, darling? What's wrong? Come in and close the door.
I've got to have a talk with you, Mother.
Of course. Are you ill?
No, not exactly.
Well, Gerald, what is it? Tell me.
I've got to have some money, right away.
Money? But, darling, I've given you every cent I can for the present, and I've had to give your Uncle Harry quite a sum.
I've got to have some money.
But please be reasonable, Gerald. I'll let you have some as soon as I get it.
When?
In a week or so. The 15th. I've overdrawn my account now. You've just got to cut down, Gerald.
I know. And that's the trouble. I tried to make things easier for you. I tried to make some quick money.
What? You've been gambling, is that it?
Yes, I was sure I could make enough to meet my own expenses, but, well, the breaks were all against me.
Jerry, why did you do it? Why?
I told you why. It's a place Uncle Harry knew about.
When was this?
Over a week ago. It's a tough outfit, and now they're making it hot for me. Threatening me if I don't pay by tomorrow noon.
Threatening you? Did you write a check?
No, I'm not that crazy.
Well, then how can they threaten you? Jerry, you mean they threatened your life?
Yes. This gambler that I owe to knows who I am.
What? You mean he knows you're my son?
No, I mean he thinks I'm your nephew. So he figures I can get the money if I really have to.
Oh, he's bluffing you. Tell him you'll have the money in 2 weeks. How much is it?
$4,000.
$4,000? Are you out of your mind?
Oh, I know it sounds crazy, Mother, but, well, I just got in deeper and deeper.
$4,000? Oh, good heavens, I couldn't give you that much in less than 2 months.
You've got to. He'll have me taken for a ride. I know him.
$4,000. Well, how could I explain it to Andrew?
Do you want me to be killed?
How much time have you?
He said tomorrow noon.
But I can't possibly do that.
Maybe he'll take some jewels as security.
I have no jewels. I never wear jewels.
The safe is filled with jewels. Filled with them. Doing nobody any good.
That's ridiculous. Besides, I don't know the combination. Oh, Gerald, I don't know what to do.
Well, I guess I'll just have to take the consequences. I'm stuck.
Well, try to stall him. At least you can try. If he doesn't accept that, then I'll have to go to Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew. He couldn't spend all his money if he tried. Okay. I'll see what I can do, but I don't think it'll work. Good night, Mother.
The next day, Andrew Ford steps to the safe, and after a few twists of the dial, the door swings open. He takes a long velvet-covered case from the safe and places it on the desk, opens the lid.
Great Scott. Bracelet, emerald ring. Paul! Paul, come here.
What is it, Mr. Ford? What's wrong?
Look in that case. The diamond bracelet is gone.
Yes, and the emerald.
And several other smaller pieces.
Well, how do you like that?
5 pieces gone. Is the combination set?
Of course.
I can't understand this.
Well, why do you suppose the other pieces were left?
I wonder.
Well, only you and I know the combination.
That's right, Paul.
And you certainly wouldn't steal your own jewels.
No.
Well, that sort of puts me in a very embarrassing position. Unless...
Unless what?
The card you left on your desk bearing the numbers. Do you suppose, well, that someone in the household did see that?
You mean Alice or Catherine? Why, that's ridiculous.
Jerry wouldn't know because I found the card before he came here.
Of course, one of the servants might have recognized the numbers as being a combination. Perhaps that's it.
Well, it certainly wasn't forced. There's not a scratch on the door.
Then someone knew the combination or was experienced in juggling tumblers by sound.
I'd better call the police.
No, not just yet.
But I want this cleared up. I didn't take them, and since I'm the only other person who was supposed to have the combination, I'm in a tough spot.
Yes, you are indeed, Paul. But whoever took these things must be planning to dispose of them.
Why?
They've taken only the pieces that would be the easiest to dispose of. Not one stone would have to be cut.
Well, then, why not have the police keep a watch on the pawn shops and the fences?
Oh, all right. You attend to it. I don't suspect you, Paul, but the police will. And for the sake of your future, this will have to be cleared up.
I understand that. I'll give a description to the robbery detail at once.
In the meantime, I'll check all doors and windows to see if there's any evidence of the thief having forced an entrance. No. Don't phone, Paul.
There are too many extensions on this line.
Oh, very well. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Paul hurries into town to make his report to police headquarters. Meantime, Andrew is inspecting every window and door of the mansion. Finding no clue of a forced entrance after 2 hours, Andrew decides to give up and return to the library. The library door is slightly ajar, and as he stops, he hears voices coming from within.
Darling, I don't understand. Why must you leave me?
I can't stay here forever.
Why not?
Well, suppose Andrew finds out about us.
Oh, can he? He need never know.
Yeah, but he might. The thought of it gives me the jitters.
Oh, Gerald, please don't go. You mean so much to me, darling. Since you've been here, I've been the happiest woman in the world.
Oh, we can meet now and then, out of town.
Now and then, now and then. How can you say such a thing? I couldn't stand it. Oh, darling, don't go. I love you so much.
If I stayed here and Andrew did find out, no telling what he might do. Why take a chance on losing all this wealth?
I don't care about it. All I want is to have you near me always.
I'd better go. I've got to. I'll come back in a month or so. Goodbye.
Goodbye, darling. Aren't you even going to kiss me?
Of course.
Well, what's the meaning of all this?
Andrew!
So, this is an example of the embrace of a nephew and aunt. Heard every word you've said in the past minute or so. Nephew. You expect me to believe that now?
But, Andrew, he's
You're
not...
lying. I know what he means to you. I know what he is. I never mentioned a sister or a brother until he popped up.
You're wrong, Andrew. You don't understand.
In my own house under my very nose. I ought to kill the both of you. Get out. Get out, both of you.
Andrew!
Get out before I do something I'll be sorry for.
Now, wait a minute.
Get out, you sneaking little rat.
Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, we got them. This is Captain Ellison. They caught this man here trying to sell the bracelet.
Who is this man, Captain?
Name is Harry Watson.
Where did you get this bracelet?
Why, a fellow gave it to me for a gambling debt.
Gave it to you? I don't believe that. Now, you're in with one of the servants here. Someone let you in and gave you the combination of that safe.
That's crazy.
Oh? Then you must have juggled the tumblers. There wasn't a mark on the door, not a scratch.
I tell you, a fellow gave me this bracelet.
If you want to save your neck, you better start talking. Who was this fellow?
That bracelet is stolen property. That means 10 years unless you talk.
I didn't know it was stolen.
Where's the rest of it?
Ask him. He gave it to me.
Gerald, oh, good heavens.
He's lying. Where would I get it?
He gave it to me to pay off a debt. I don't know where he got it from. Maybe somebody gave it to him.
So you're a thief as well, Gerald. Where did you get that combination?
Now, wait. Gerald didn't have the combination. He didn't have the jewels. I took them.
What? Why?
This man, Watson, is lying. I gave the jewels to Watson myself.
For what reason?
To keep his mouth shut.
That's a lie.
He was blackmailing me. He knew something about me that I didn't care to have known. He called me to his home. I've been paying him ever since. I ran out of money, so when I learned the combination, I gave him some of the smaller jewels. That's where he got him. Gerald had nothing to do with it.
I didn't blackmail him.
I can prove it by a canceled check.
What did he know about you, Catherine?
Well,
did he really know something? Or are you just trying to protect this man, Gerald?
I took them. I tell you, what else matters?
Catherine, I don't believe you.
I paid Harry Watson because he found out that Gerald was my son.
What? Your son?
Yes. When I was a kid, I married George Watson, Harry's brother. Shortly after Gerald was born, I found out that George was a crook. He almost got caught in a vault robbery. He ran out of town and took the baby with him, left Gerald with his brother Harry, and I never heard about either of them again. I knew nothing of Harry until he called me. He says George is still around, but I thought that after 7 years, a man is legally dead. He said, I'm not really married to you unless the court gave that decision. I didn't know that.
Well, Watson, she has the check. You're stuck with blackmail.
She's lying. I never mentioned blackmail. I never threatened her. And what's more, I didn't even say Jerry was her son.
You did.
I told her Jerry was her nephew. I asked her to help the kid out, give him a chance to do something. I've never done much for him, and I was too old to do much now.
Why, you said you raised him. I was even paying you for that.
I did raise him, but I didn't say that he was your son because he isn't. He's my son. I can prove it. Your son died a year after George left him with us. I can prove that. You're just trying to railroad me. You took those jewels and gave them to Jerry.
Wait a minute. You opened that safe, Catherine?
Yes.
Then prove it. Step over there and open it now.
Open it?
Yes, open it. You see? You can't.
No.
And where did you get that combination, Jerry?
I didn't have the combination. She did give them to me.
And as far as I can see, all three of you are stuck.
Oh, no, Captain. Jerry and Harry Watson are stuck, but not Catherine. Because Jerry can't prove he didn't know the combination, and Catherine can't prove she did. If Catherine thinks this boy is her son and she's trying to protect him, the only way she can prove she opened the safe is to open it now. And she'd do that if she possibly could. Hand over the rest of those jewels, Jerry.
All right. Here they are.
I'm telling the truth about Jerry.
Yes? Maybe you are now. But if Catherine was willing to sacrifice herself for this boy, then you must have convinced her that he was her son. You can take them away, Captain. I'll prefer charges in the morning.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Oh, by the way, Watson, I'd like to talk with your brother George.
Well, George was killed by the police in Kansas City 3 weeks after his baby died.
Oh? You see, Catherine, you've just been the victim of a couple of clever schemers.
Yes, but you're still wondering, aren't you, Catherine? You're wondering if Gerald really is your son. Wondering if Harry wasn't lying just now to save himself from charges of blackmail. But don't worry anymore. Harry is telling the truth. Jerry isn't your son. Your son and his father were both dead many long years ago. But there's one thing you'd all like to know. How did Jerry get that combination? Well, Jerry had an eye on that safe, and he worked with it several times. Now, Paul knew this, and deliberately left it unlocked one night, knowing that Jerry would keep trying to open it. And he did. Then Paul put the police on Jerry's trail, and they followed through till Harry Watson tried to peddle the bracelet. Paul didn't do a thing, just forgot to lock the safe. Very simple.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next Sunday night at 8:30.
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
But first, a word about this invisible enemy of the underworld. The Shadow, mysterious character who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. As the Shadow, he is the mortal enemy of all those who would work evil upon their fellow men. Cranston is gifted with the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him. This hypnotic power is the result of years of research in the mystical Orient. The Shadow does not bear a charmed life, yet he defies death in all its forms to aid mankind. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the Shadow belongs. Today's story, Ghost Town.
Well, there it is, Miss Lane. Mr. Cranston. Right there below us. That's the famous old gold mining town of Bad Creek.
Well, it certainly looks authentic, God. See, Lamont, it's just like the movies.
Yes, Martha. That howling coyote's probably Rex the Wonder Dog. We better be traveling down the hill if you want to visit the town before dark. Get your boy.
Come on. Guide, I understand that there's quite a story to be told about Bad Creek.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Toward the end of the last century, Bad Creek was the rip-roaringest mining town west of the Mississippi. Man and boy, there ain't never been another place like it. Easy, boy.
Say, is the path this narrow all the way down the cliff?
Yeah, pretty near.
Quite a sheer drop.
But if you just keep your horse close up to the side, ma'am, there ain't no danger of falling much.
That's encouraging.
Yeah. I reckon the thing Bad Creek's best known for is the time Alvarez, the Mexican bandit, shot his dance hall sweetheart Carmencita. They wrote a song about that.
Oh, yes, I know the song. It's almost as famous as Frankie and Johnny in American folklore.
Yeah. Well, we better be getting down faster. It'll be dark soon. Oh, boy!
Look out, Lamont!
Oh! Easy. Oh. Sorry, partner. I didn't mean to bump you. My horse just swerved there.
Lamont, you almost went over the side of the cliff.
Oh, don't be alarmed, ma'am. Man and boy, I ain't never seen no one go off here yet.
Well, man and boy, there's always a first time.
Yeah.
Come on, boy. Come on. Is there anyone living in Bad Creek now?
No, sir. Bad Creek's a ghost town. Ain't been a soul lived there for over 45 years. Except, of course, old Pop Evans.
Who's Pop Evans?
He's an old crackpot who run a hotel when Bad Creek was really operating. Then when the gold give out and the miners deserted the town, Pop just hung on. Man and boy's been there ever since.
Waiting for the town to be revived?
Yeah, something like that. He's a bit touched now. Thinks his hotel is still thriving like it used to. Well, here we are in the town.
Oh, boy. Oh.
So this is Ghost Town. Gosh, look at those buildings, Lamont. They're almost falling to pieces.
Yes. The deserted streets. So quiet.
We'll just take a quick run down the main street, folks, and get up to the hills again.
Oh, no. Let's really stay and explore the place.
Well, of course. Give us a chance to look around.
Oh, no. You can't stay here. No, sir.
Oh, why not?
Partner, when I told you Bad Creek was a ghost town, I didn't just mean it was a deserted village. It's really a town of ghosts.
What? Well, what do you mean?
I mean that the ghosts of them who lived in Bad Creek when it was a gold mine and camp have been seen here at night, reliving their days of glory. There's been shootings and even dead bodies that weren't so pretty to look at that have been found in these lonely streets.
Well, that's all right, guide. You can't scare us. I can think of nothing more enjoyable than spending an evening with the bandit Alvarez and his sweetheart Carmencita.
Yeah, there's been others who said the same things you're saying, ma'am. They spent a night here, too. The next day, they was found raving mad or dead. Why, if you'd seen them folks like I'd seen them, their eyes popping, their faces all twisted like with fear, and them that we found alive wasn't like humans at all. You wouldn't believe it unless you'd seen it.
Well, how do you feel about staying now, Margot?
Lamont, are you afraid to face the ghosts?
Well, I was thinking of you.
Well, if you're thinking of me, you'll agree to stay.
Then it's settled. We stay.
And you're staying alone, partner. I'll go up to the hills.
Well, where is this Pop Evans Hotel?
That's down the street a ways, ma'am. You'll see his sign. But look here, ma'am, won't you change your mind? Man and boy,
I've never met a ghost, and I'm not passing up the opportunity.
Well, there's your answer, guide.
All right. I'll be back here in the morning. I must say that I'm expecting to find that both of you will have met up with the same fate as them others who dared to face the ghosts of Bad Creek.
Well, this must be the place, Margot. Oh, fella. Can you read that sign?
What there is left of it. Evans Imperial Waldorf Grand Hotel. I wonder why I left out the Ritz.
We'll tie the horses to this hitching post.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Down you come.
Thanks. Lamont, hasn't it gotten dark quickly?
Not changing your mind about staying here, Margot?
No, of course not.
Well, then, shall we enter the Imperial Waldorf Grand Hotel?
Definitely. My lorgnettes, if you please.
We're fresh out of lorgnettes, but I can give you my extra flashlight. It might be more useful.
wish one of the ghosts would frighten that coyote.
Might as well get used to it. Watch these steps, Margot.
Oh.
Boards are all caved in.
And just imagine now what the rooms are like.
Yeah. Well, here's the door. You first, madame.
Thank you. Oh, Lamont.
Oh, I'm sorry, Margot. I neglected to notice that there were no hinges.
I don't see how any self-respecting ghost could live in a place like this.
Well, you know how ghosts are. Come on, let's go inside.
Well, I guess this is the... I guess this is the lobby.
Yes. From the looks of things, we're the first guests to arrive since the gold miners left.
Look at the pictures on the wall. They're so covered with dust you can't even see them.
Mm-hmm.
Lamont, what are those shadows? Those shadows moving on the wall.
Those are bats, my dear. Nice, playful bats. We're attracted by our flashlights.
I wish that coyote would howl again. He sounded so friendly compared to this.
Not frightened, are you, Margot?
Frightened? No, of course not. Why, Lamont, someone over there standing in the corner.
Where?
See, right there by the desk. See?
Margot, do you know what that is?
No.
That is one of the last survivors of a vanishing race. A cigar store Indian.
A cigar store Indian?
Yes, tomahawk and all.
Well, you can't blame me for being... Well, I've never met a cigar store Indian before.
Well, I'll see if I can arrange a formal introduction. Big Chief Snaggletooth.
Come on.
What?
If that's another cigar store Indian coming down those stairs, it's the first one I've ever seen that walked.
It's an old man. But that must be Pop Evans.
He's such an old man. Long white hair and wrinkled whistle.
Good evening, partners.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the hotel.
Thank you.
You wish rooms, I presume?
Yes, we do.
Well, step over to the desk, please.
Thank you.
Watch out for that hole there in the floor. I've been telling the porter to fix it up, but he's just forgetful, I guess. Just forgetful.
Well, what's your step, Margot?
Don't worry.
Here we are. Well, dust on the register. I'll have to speak to that clerk. He's getting careless, too. That's the way it is in the hotel business, you know. You gotta watch him all the time. Blow this dust out. Oh, excuse me. More dust than I thought. I'll spin the register around and let you sign in. He needs oil. Sign right below that last name, please.
Look, Lamont. That last registration was in 1895. 45 years ago.
Yes, well, you see, ma'am, business been kind of slacking off lately.
Yes, I would say you've been experiencing a lull.
There seems to be a slight difficulty here, Mr. Evans. No ink in the well. In fact, there's no point in the pen either.
No? That's funny. I told that bellboy to always keep them pens in shape. Careless. Careless are all careless.
Here, use my pen, Lamont.
Thank you. We'd like our rooms to be on the same floor, please.
Same floor? Let me see. Yes, I think I can accommodate you. You just come this way, please.
All right. Oh, Mr. Evans, I understand that there are ghosts to be seen here in Bad Creek.
Oh, yes. Alvarez, Carmencita, all the old-timers. They're very good friends of mine. Up these stairs, please.
You seriously believe that their spirits are still around, Mr. Evans?
Believe? Why, ma'am, I've been seeing them for years. But I wouldn't be too curious about them if I was you. They ain't fond of strangers. No, sir, not one bit. Now, this here room can be for you, ma'am. And your room, sir, is just down the hall.
Oh. Well, is it all right to go in? I mean, has the room got a floor?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Go right in.
We can open our packs and have our supper in your room, Margot. if you don't mind.
Mind if you think I'm going to stay here. What's that?
Well, it's a piano. And a woman singing.
Yes. Sounds like they started their evening's business at the Crystal Saloon.
Well, who are you talking about?
The spirits. That's Carmen Cedar singing now.
Carmen Cedar?
Hey, if it disturbs you, I'll send word to the sheriff to have him tone it down.
He's serious, Lamont. He honestly believes that those are spirits that we're hearing. Ghosts of people who've been dead 40 or more years.
Oh, she's got a sweet voice, ain't she? No wonder Alvarez is so loco about her.
Mr. Evans, where is the Crystal Saloon?
Just down the street.
Come on, Margot.
Where are you going?
To the Crystal Saloon. This is our chance to learn something of Mr. Evans' ghost. Oh, singing and playing have stopped. Come on, Margot. We may still be in time to see them.
Well, I guess they've gone.
Yes. Peculiar behavior for ghosts. Well, there's the piano over there. Let's have a look at it.
Lamont, this place is just as it must have been long ago. Why, there's still glasses on the bar, and the chairs are still set around the tables. If it weren't for the heavy dust, you'd almost believe that they were open for business tonight.
Well, that's odd.
What?
The same heavy dust that you speak of is covering the keys of the piano. And yet we heard it play.
Was there another piano?
No, not here in this room.
What was that?
Let's find out. Stop! Stop!
He's riding up toward the hills.
Did you see him as he went past?
Not distinctly, no.
He was dressed in the costume of old Mexico.
The ghost of Alvarez.
Or someone pretending to be the ghost of Alvarez. Come on, we'd better see what happened at the hotel.
All right. Look, Lamont, on the hotel steps, there's a man lying there.
Yes, let's hurry.
Oh, Lamont, he's writhing in pain. Those shots was heard.
Yes. This man was the victim. I'd rather you didn't look at him, Margot. He's been shot through the head.
Oh, but he's still alive.
Yes, we'd better go in and find Pop Evans, get some water and some bandages. Come on, Margot.
Oh, he certainly isn't one of the ghosts.
No, ghosts never bleed. Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans?
Yes?
Oh, you're right here. Mr. Evans, there's been a man seriously wounded right outside your door. We must have some water and bandages quickly. Do you hear me, man?
Yes, I hear you. But don't get excited. Them's just my friends, the spirits, having a little fun.
Listen, Mr. Evans, if you'll just step outside and look, you'll see that this is not a spirit this time.
Sure, I'll come out and look. I've seen the same show 100 times. But I'll look again. Sure, anything to please a customer. Now, where is this mortally wounded individual?
Right there. But he's gone.
Lamont.
Well, are you satisfied?
No, I'm not a bit satisfied.
I suppose you'll be wanting to check out after this little scare.
Quite the contrary, Miss Evans. We're more determined than ever to spend the night here. And before morning, I personally guarantee you that we will have exploded for all time the legend of Bad Creek.
Of this whole thing, Lamont?
Well, Margot, one thing is certain. We're not dealing with ghosts. But who these Halloween artists are and what the purpose of their exhibition is, I still can't figure out.
Our friend again. You suppose he's part of this thing, too?
No, just a voluntary helper.
They have a woman working with them. The one we heard singing in the Crystal Saloon.
Yes. I presume she's supposed to be the spirit of the lovely Carmen Cedar.
And the man on horseback was dressed as Alvarez.
Yeah. Say, Carmencita, Alvarez. Margot, why didn't we think of this before?
What?
The events so far this evening have coincided with the verses of the song Alvarez and Carmencita. Remember it?
Yes. Yes, in the first verse of the song, Carmencita is singing to the gold miners in the Crystal Saloon.
That's right. And in the second verse, Alvarez rides through the town and shoots his rival on the steps of the hotel. Now we have something to work on. All we have to do is wait for them to begin to enact the next verse.
Well, let me see, Lamont. What is that next verse? Alvarez and Carmencita. Oh, wait a minute.
That's it.
Later on that very evening, down the main street he did ride.
That's
you
it.
remember? Well, that's it. And in the third verse, Alvarez rides back to the Crystal Saloon and shoots the girl.
Yes. And in the fourth verse, That's funny, I can't remember a bit of it now.
Well, is that where the sheriff's posse hangs him?
No. That's much later in the song.
Yeah, then I don't remember it either.
Oh.
Well, at least we know what's going to happen next.
You mean happen now?
Shall we go to the Crystal Saloon?
No, it's too late for that. They can stop before we get there. I'd rather investigate this thing. You wait right here in this room, Margot.
Here? Oh, Lamont.
I'm sure that nothing will happen to you, so please stay. I must do this alone.
Well, where are you going?
To Pop Evans' room. He's going to receive a visit from the Shadow.
Mr. Evans. Pop Evans.
What?
Wake up, Mr. Evans.
Who's there?
You have company, Mr. Evans. Wake up.
No, wait till I light this lamp. Find time for callers. There we are now. Say, where are you? Didn't someone speak to me?
Yes, I spoke to you, Mr. Evans.
But I don't see you.
I'm standing right beside you, Mr. Evans. But you can't see me because I've clouded your brain with my hypnotic power.
You mean you're invisible?
Invisible.
A ghost, eh? A real ghost has come at last, eh? I told him that. I told him that someday a real ghost would come along and spoil their little game. Well, I'm mighty glad you come, Mr.
Men call me the Shadow.
Yes, Mr. Shadow. I'm mighty glad you come. They're going to be sorry now, ain't they? You real ghost is going to give them a tussle, huh?
Who are they, Mr. Evans?
They? Why, they's the ones that's been scaring folks with their pretending to be Alvarez and Carmencita. Murderers, that's what they've been. Plain murderers.
But who are these people? What are their names?
Their names?
Yes.
Why, you should know that. One of them is...
Mr. Evans.
Oh.
Mr. Evans.
They shot me.
Who was it?
Must have been.
He's dead.
Is that you, Lamont? Lamont. Why didn't you answer me?
You little fool. It is useless to struggle, senorita. You're coming with me. We are leaving here.
Lamont!
Stop biting me, you little spitfire. Now I shall take you for a little horseback ride, senorita, and make the most of it. It shall be the last ride you will ever take. Steady, Santo. Now, up we go. There you are.
Lamont!
Shut up, you. Come on, Santo. Hey! Hey!
taking?
Well, right now, senorita, we are in one of the tunnels at the Single Ace gold mine. And I don't think that you should hope anyone will find you here. This mine has been abandoned for almost 50 years. Through this door, please. Step in the room.
No, Alvarez. You brought back company.
Yes. I've brought up one of the guests from the Evans Hotel.
Oh, is this the dame that's been nosing around all night?
She's the one.
That's the guy she had with her.
We'll return for him later. Where's Eddie?
I'm right here.
That man. That's the one who was shot in front of the hotel.
That's right, sister.
But that wound in your head.
That was a little trick we learned from some movie folks who was here once. Pretty good, huh?
Not too good. I suppose this woman was the one who sang as Carmencita. Yeah. How'd you know? I'd recognize that off-key voice any place. Say, another crack like that. No. So I'm finally meeting the ghost of Bad Creek.
I guess you could call us that, senorita.
Well, why don't you take off your mask, Alvarez, so I can see you, too?
I never take off the mask.
Well, why did you bring me here? What do you want of me?
We have decided, senorita, that you should become one of us.
Just what part would I play in this ghost business?
Well, we have always felt that our performance would be more effective if we only had a corpse. A real corpse.
You mean that I would be...
Yes, senorita, you would be the corpse.
No.
And I think that you will give your first performance this very evening. We will exhibit you for your companion back in Bad Creek. Now, have you any preferences?
Preferences? What do you mean?
Well, would you rather have a bullet hole perhaps in your head? A real bullet hole this time, of course? Or would you prefer a knife?
No, let me out of here. You can't do this to me.
Since you won't make your own choice, senorita, I shall make one for you. A knife would be much more effective.
No.
Eddie, you will use your knife, please. You do those things so artistically.
Okay.
No, let me go. Let me go.
Now, it'll be all over in a second, sister. Steady now.
Drop that knife, Eddie.
Huh? What?
Let go of that girl and drop the knife.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Since you won't drop the knife, I'll have to knock it out of your hand.
Well, the knife was knocked out of my hand. I didn't see no one do it.
What is this? What's going on?
That voice is right here in this room.
The voice is still here in the room. You needn't look around for me. I've used my hypnotic power so that you cannot see me.
Who are you?
I am called the Shadow.
The Shadow? I've heard of him.
Now, Mr. Alvarez, we shall remove your mask.
No, take your hands off me.
Yeah. Now we see what you look like.
How do you like it?
Why, you're the guide who led Mr. Krantz and me to Bad Creek.
Well, what of it?
Why have you tried to frighten people away from Bad Creek? What secret have you here that you've been willing to resort to murder to protect?
We like to be alone, that's all.
It wouldn't be gold, would it? Answer me. Is it gold?
Why don't you find out?
On my way in here, I saw that there'd been some recent diggings in this mine. When I examined it, I saw that you'd struck a vein of pure gold. That's why you've tried to frighten people away. You're stealing this gold from a mine that does not belong to you.
Yeah? What can you do about it?
I can turn you over to the authorities, all of you, on charges of larceny and murder.
Listen, Shadow, you've gone far enough, see? You ain't telling us what to do. Nobody is. We've been prepared for just such a happening as this. Well prepared. There's enough dynamite planted in this mine to blow the whole works higher than a skyrocket.
No, don't use the dynamite.
Shut up, Eddie. Maybe we can't see you, Shadow, but when I pull the switch, you'll die just like the rest of us.
Hey, he don't know what he's saying, Shadow.
I don't, huh? Well, let's pull the switch and see.
No, stop him.
Don't touch that switch.
Let me go. You hear me, Shadow? Let go.
Look out, you're knocking over the lamp.
Well, you can't see me now either, Shadow. The fight is on even terms. Come on, where are you?
Margot, come with me quickly.
Can you hear me?
We're going to try to get out of here.
Well, where are you, Shadow?
Are you afraid of me? Are you?
Cut it out, will you? If you pull that switch, you'll kill all of us.
Shut up. Why don't you try to stop me from pulling the switch now, Shadow, huh? Wait a minute. Where's that girl?
Must have made a break. And I'm going to do the same.
Me too.
Oh, no, you don't. No one is getting out of here alive.
Lamont.
I'm right here, Margot. Well, made it just in time. Are you all right?
Yes, but those people we left in the mine.
They're buried in there. There's nothing we can do.
Oh, how awful. Lamont, how did you know where to look for me?
Very simple, Margot. You remember how we followed the movements of the ghost by recalling the verses of the Alvarez and Carmencita song?
Yes.
Well, I finally remembered the fourth verse. It tells of how Alvarez fled to the Single Ace mine on the hillside. I played the hunch that they were sticking to the song and came here.
Lamont, from now on, man and boy, that's my favorite melody.
Friends, you want to hear next week's unusually thrilling shadow story, when Lamont and Margot venture into voodoo land to solve the weird mystery of the tropics.
I wonder if you can help us. We're looking for the Nesbitt plantation.
Nesbitt?
Yes.
Nesbitt plantation?
Yes, yes.
Keep away. Keep away from there. Keep away.
Come back here. Come back.
Lamont, did you see his face? Do you suppose he was a zombie?
Today's program is based on a story copyrighted by the Shadow magazine. Whose plot are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
The Adventures of the Falcon, starring Les Tremaine.
Hello? Yes, it's the Falcon speaking. Oh, Lucy. I'm awfully sorry, Angel, but I'm afraid I'll have to skip tonight. I have to check on a character who is handing his girl a fast line. Claims he'll make a big mark in the world. And maybe he will. Unless somebody rubs him out.
Once again, the Mutual Broadcasting System brings you the Adventures of the Falcon. The Falcon, as you know, is Michael Waring, freelance detective, who's always ready with a hand for oppressed men and an eye for repressed women. So join him tonight when the Falcon learns murder is a bad bluff. It's early Monday evening in New York when the door of a small Fifth Avenue jewelry store opens and the clerk, alone in the store, turns to face a dapper young man.
Yes, sir? What can I do for you? Were you ever in love? Was I? Well, naturally, sir. I'm a married man. I dare say I love my wife. Well, if you dare say you don't. Let's see the most expensive bracelet you have. Yes, sir. One moment. A bracelet to encircle her tiny eider-down wrist. Eider-down? That's a rather strange image, if I may say so. You may. Here you are, sir. Now, this bracelet. Beautiful, I'll take it. Now, let's see something in engagement. Yes, sir. Here you are. Good, I'll take that, too. Which one? The whole table. I beg your pardon? Oh, but these aren't the best you have. Let's see the really big stone. Oh, come on, hurry it up. What's the matter? Didn't you ever see a gun before? Yes, sir. No, sir. I know you're kind of warm all of a sudden, so bring out the ice and we'll cool off. Yes, sir. And hurry it up, or all of a sudden you'll be cold. Yes, sir. Stone cold. Yes, sir. All right, Rickett, let's go.
Okay. You got the stuff?
I've got the stuff.
Okay, Barclay, but what took you so long?
I wanted to do the job right. Gave the clerk a build-up.
Build up. You got a gun, haven't you? What more build-up you gotta have?
Trouble with this profession, Rickett, not enough imagination. You walk in with a gun, the clerk sees it's a hold-up, and right from the start, it's him against you. But with me...
With you, it's talk all the time.
Change of pace. That's the secret, pal. Believe me, change of pace. Keep them guessing. By the
How
time...
much did you get?
A hatful. Rings, bracelets, necklaces, 30, 40 grand worth at least.
Okay, we lay low a couple of days and then unload.
I'll unload.
How's that?
Let me handle the fence. The old change of pace ought to be good for an extra 10 grand. Why, I...
Okay, Barclay, you unload.
I knew you'd say it my way.
I don't. But how else can I shut you up?
Oh, hello, Bud.
Hi, you angel sweet, light of my life. Oh, come here, sugar. Hey, what's the matter? You call that a kiss? Where's the voltage?
It's just that...
I know, you're tired. Well, I've got a little surprise for you, baby. It'll pep you up. Here, take a squint at this.
An engagement ring.
Like I promised. Look at the size of that sparkler. That's what I think of you, sugar. You rate the best.
Where did you get it?
Did I get it? I bought it. I'm in the chip, sugar. Swung a big deal.
With the president of the Midwestern Railroad?
That's right. I told you.
You told me a lot of things. But I can read, Bud.
What's that supposed to mean?
Just that there's an item on the society page that the president of the Midwestern Railroad happens to be away on a yachting trip.
Sure. I know that, sugar. I've been contacting him by radio.
In that case, you ought to be able to tell me where this yachting trip is.
Sure.
All right, go ahead. Where is it? Newport? Bermuda. Gulf of Mexico, maybe?
What is this, the third degree?
Bud, you've asked me to marry you. I've got a right to know something about you. I'm tired of these big stories. Now I want the truth.
Look, sugar, some things you can't explain.
Why?
Well, look, it's like this. A terrific merger's on the fire, see? But terrific. If word gets out about it, even a hint, it'll get the stock market on its ear, see?
No. I don't see why you can't...
Just sit tight, sugar, huh? In a couple of days, it'll all be settled, and I'll collect my commission. You'll see big dough, $30,000-$40,000 on the first installment. And then we can make plans.
Stop it, Bud. If you won't trust me, then...
Like you trust me?
Well, give me some reason. I'm getting tired of fairy tales.
But did you ever happen to think, sugar, maybe I'm getting tired of your nagging? I'm on the way up. You don't want to come along? Okay. Just remember you had your chance.
Maybe I did. But I've heard it's not always healthy to take chances.
Hello.
Michael Waring?
That's right.
You're a private detective, the one they call the Falcon?
Mm-hmm.
Are you very expensive?
Depends.
On what?
What you call expensive. And what you want me to do. Come in. Let's talk it over.
All right.
Well, you might as well sit down, make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
And tell me your name.
Gloria Page.
And why you want a detective.
I'm engaged to be married.
Congratulations.
I'm not sure they're in order. That's what I want you to find out.
Well, just a second, Gloria. I don't go in for petty snooping if you're just trying to find out whether your boyfriend is stepping out on
No,
you.
Mr. Waring, I'm not concerned about other women.
All right, then.
What I want to know is, what does he do for a living?
Didn't he tell you?
Yes, a number of things.
But you don't believe him.
I did until yesterday. But they're too fantastic. All about big business deals, but he won't give me any details. It's all so secretive, I can't help wondering if maybe he's mixed up in something illegal. Otherwise, why would he try to keep things from me?
I don't know.
Well, what'll it cost to have you investigate?
Quite a lot, but I'll give you some advice for nothing.
What's that?
Forget him.
I can't.
As long as you have such serious doubts about
Just
him.
the same, I love him.
Well, then, what are you doing here?
Hoping you'll prove my doubts are wrong.
And if they aren't?
I don't know, Mr. Waring.
You're just asking for heartache, Gloria.
Well, it's my heart and my money. So how much do you want for a retainer?
Hello, Ternez. Mike Wedding. What brings you here, Wedding? You only hang around in bar when you're looking for something?
I like television.
Yes.
You shouldn't have such a suspicious nature, Ternez. Bad for your digestion.
I don't like coppers, and I don't like private dicks.
Well, every man to his taste. You seen Barkley lately?
Who?
Bud Barkley.
I don't know Barkley. I haven't seen him. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything.
Funny. I was told you're a pretty good friend of Barkley.
Who told you?
Oh, I've been getting around. In fact, Barkley himself tells me you were on a little job with him the other day.
That's a lie.
Sure.
I was never on a job with Barkley in my life. If it was anybody, it was Rickard. He's the only one on Barkley's team.
I thought you didn't know Barkley.
So I know him.
So thanks.
For what?
For some very pleasant conversation. And now, can I buy you a drink?
Taxi. Just a second, Barkley. I've been looking for you.
Oh, hello, Ternez. Sorry I can't stop now. I've got a date.
The driver will wait for you.
Yeah, but I'm late.
So you'll be later.
Hey, cut it out. That's a clean shirt.
Just answer me one question, then I'll let you go.
What the devil's eating you?
How come you told Waring what you did about me?
What are you talking about?
You told Waring...
Waring? Who's Waring?
Mike Waring, the Falcon.
Are you crazy, Ternez? I don't even know where.
He says you do.
Well, Look, driver, you better go on. I'll take another cab. Just what does Waring say I told him?
He says you told him I pulled a job with you.
What?
That's what he said about you.
So you blew your top and started yapping about me. Is that it?
Well, it made me sore.
So you popped off.
I didn't say much.
Why, you dumb jerk. Don't you see Waring was just trying to trap you into spilling on me?
I didn't spill.
Well, at least you didn't know about the Holloway job. I wondered.
Holloway?
Look, Ternez, you got any idea what Waring's angle is?
Holloway job. That was the jewelry hall.
Now, listen, Ternez.
So you're the boy who pulled that one, huh? You and Rickard.
Oh, you didn't hear me right.
I heard you very right. And you know something, Barkley? I think Waring would be kind of interested to hear about it, too.
Now, don't start getting ideas.
I got him already. Well, go ahead, Barkley. We won't discuss it here. You don't want to keep your dates waiting. But I got a hunch you and me are going to do business.
Hello, Sugar. Sorry I'm late.
Well, but I'm afraid from now on it's better never than late.
Are you still on that kick?
I know how things stand now. That's why I asked you over.
And I thought maybe you'd come to your senses.
I have. We're through, Bud.
Now, look, Sugar, a lot of things have gone wrong today. I don't want to have trouble with you, too. I have big business deals coming up.
Big business. With crooks like Greg Rickard and Lou Ternez.
Who's been talking?
Nobody. I had to know the truth, Bud. I had to.
So?
So I hired a detective.
You what? Wait. So you're the one who hired Waring?
Yes.
You won't be satisfied until I do a stretch, will you?
No, but I don't want to cause you any trouble.
Looks like.
I don't. Now that I found out what I wanted to know, I've called off Mike.
Oh, it's Mike.
Mr. Waring, what's the difference? Anyway, I've called him off.
Thanks. What makes you sure he'll stay off?
He isn't interested in you, but he's found out who your friends are. That's all I wanted to know. Now you'd better go.
Oh, sure. Sure, get out of here, Bud. You're just dirt and no good crook. Go on, why don't you tell me off? Tell me what you really think of me.
Get out, Bud.
Oh, so now I'm not even worth talking to. I just get out. All right, I'll get out, but before I do, here's something for you to remember me by. Oh, I'm sorry, Sugar. I don't know what's the matter with you. You're right. I'm no good for anything. You all right, baby?
Just get out of here, Bud. Get out!
Hello, Rickard. This is Barkley. I got to see you right away.
What's the matter?
I'll tell you when I see you. How soon can you get here?
20 minutes?
Okay, I'll be waiting. Mind if I join you, Rickard?
Oh, hello, Fernandez.
I see you recognize me when you're all liquored up, huh?
What do you mean by that?
You weren't so sociable this afternoon. Brushed right by me without speaking.
Hmm? When was that?
At Barclays.
What? I wasn't at Barclays this afternoon.
Funny. I could swear it was you.
That's a lie.
Oh, I get so excited, pal. So I thought I saw you. Is there something to make you blow a gasket?
No, it just... Well, I wasn't there.
Okay, my mistake. You see, I was going up to see Barkley, and just as I start in the building, this character rushes out. And like I say, he's a dead ringer for you. So I start to say hello, but you... he... don't stop. I ring Barkley's bell, and no answer. When I try the door, and it's not locked, I go in. And what do you think I find?
I don't know.
Don't you, Rickard?
I told you I don't. I wasn't there.
Okay. I'll remember that. When the law asks me, I'll tell them it wasn't you that I saw, Rickard. It was just somebody who happens to look exactly like you.
Now, wait a minute.
Well, I have to tell them something, eh? Because inside Barclay's apartment, I see how come that character who rushes out is in such a hurry, he don't even notice me.
Are you trying to say...
Yes, Rickard, you guessed it. I find Barclay lying on the sofa, and he don't even so much as say hello. Which I can't blame him, huh? Seeing as how he just happens to be sort of, very dead.
Tomorrow, throughout our nation, Americans who appreciate the right to rule themselves will go to the polls and cast their ballots to elect their leaders. The right to vote is the very cornerstone of our American heritage of freedom. When you vote, vote as you please, as your conscience dictates, but vote. For freedom is everybody's job. And if you vote, you're letting America down. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. A few hours have passed since the murder of Bud Barkley. The story has hit the newsstands and found an interested reader in Mike Waring, who is now calling on his ex-client, Gloria Pate.
You seen the paper, Gloria?
Yes.
Well?
Well, what?
You hire me to check on Barkley. I do. And my report is hardly in when he winds up dead. I can't help wondering if there's a connection. Is there?
You mean that I'd kill him? No.
You saw him this afternoon.
Yes?
And had a fight.
What makes you say that?
Look in the mirror.
I told him we were through. He didn't like it.
He didn't like. Kind of rough.
He was furious when he found out that I'd hired you.
Oh, you told him that?
Yes.
So he slapped you around. Do you have an alibi for the murder time?
I don't know. I guess not. I was here alone after he left.
Well, that's not going to sound so good to the police when they learn about your fight with Barkley.
Do they have to know?
You were his girl. They're sure to be around with questions.
What'll I do?
That's up to you. You told me you loved Barkley.
I thought I did.
What?
Well, after this afternoon.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You warned me there'd be heartache. There was when you told me he was friendly. And after the way he acted, it's all over.
You heal fast.
You think I killed him?
I didn't say that.
Believe me, Mike, I'm sorry he's dead. I was shocked when I read about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe me.
Well, that's all right, Gloria. It's not me you have to convince. It's the police.
Yes?
Hello. My name's Michael Waring. I'd like to talk to you.
What about?
Murder. You're Greg Rickard, aren't you?
Am I?
Well, this is his apartment, and you're in it, so it seems like a reasonable assumption.
Oh, that's what I call a detective. Okay, I'm Rickard. Now, where do we go from here?
Inside. More comfortable.
All right, Waring.
I'm glad you're not going to be difficult.
That remains to be seen. What do you want?
I understand you and Bud Barkley were pals.
How come you understand that?
In my business, a fellow asks questions.
But he doesn't always get the right answer.
Well, suppose you give me an answer then. Was Barkley a pal of yours?
I knew him.
When's the last time you saw him?
A couple of days ago.
Not today?
Not today.
Where were you this afternoon?
Right here.
All afternoon?
All afternoon.
Suppose I were to tell you I tried to phone you and got no answer.
Then I'd say I was in the shower and didn't hear the phone.
For over an hour? I kept trying.
I was very dirty.
Oh, you can do better than that, Rickard.
Oh, I was taking a nap with the radio playing.
That's better, huh? But at least now I know you were lying.
So are you. Anyhow, you haven't put me at Barclays, if that's what you're trying to do.
Give me time.
How come you're trying to nail me for the job anyway? Just because I knew Barclays?
Well, I have to start somewhere. You know any better suggestions?
Yeah, there are plenty just as good. Anybody else who knew Barclay's girl, for instance.
Gloria?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any reason why she should have wanted to kill Barkley?
You know any reason why I should have?
I'm working on it. But as long as we're playing the field just now, who else should we consider? Lou Ternez?
Huh? No. No, why do you say that?
Why not? He knew Barkley, too, didn't he?
Believe me, Waring, it wasn't Ternez.
What makes you so sure?
All right, I'm not sure. Only I don't think it was Ternez. It's not like him.
Funny you should be so anxious to protect him.
I'm not trying to protect him. You think it's Ternez? Okay.
I don't think it's Ternez. Yet. From the way you've been acting, I may get around to it. At any rate, it's an angle worth checking. Thanks, Rickard. Hello, Ternez.
Some people can't take a hint. Look, Waring, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't like people in your racket. I don't like you.
Well, why should I let a little thing like that stop me when we have so much in common?
Like what?
Like you don't like me, I don't like you. That could be the basis for a beautiful friendship.
Are you going to get out of here?
Nope.
Then I will.
What do you know about the Barkley murder, Ternez?
Good night, Waring.
Sit down.
Let go, Waring. I said sit down.
I want to talk to you.
Now, look, Waring, I don't
Is
like...
there any reason why Rickard should want to frame you for the murder?
What? Did he? No, you don't, Waring.
No, I don't what?
You tell me Rickard is trying to frame me. That's supposed to set me off on Rickard. Sorry. I don't want to play.
I didn't say Rickard tried to frame you. I was just wondering. He tried to keep you out of this. Maybe he was really protecting you. Or maybe he just thought that would make me suspicious.
Well, you'll have to figure it out for yourself.
Now, look...
Sorry, Waring. I told you I'm not going to help you. Go on back to the babe and tell her you drew a blank.
Babe?
Gloria Page.
Where'd you get the idea I'm working for her?
Barkley. Was she wrong?
No. I was working for her, but that was before the murder. Now I'm strictly on my own.
Where's the profit in that?
You never can tell.
Well, you won't get any dividends from me.
Can't hurt to try. There's something between you and Rickard. I want to know what it is.
Ask Rickard.
I did. Now I'm asking you.
You're just wasting your time, Waring.
I could beat it out of you.
Could you?
On second thought, I guess I couldn't. Not as long as you had that busted beer mug in your hand.
That's right, Waring. And now, if you don't want it in your face, just get out of my way.
Hello, Ternez. I've been expecting you. Come in.
Good. Have you got the money, Rickard?
Well, that's what I call coming right to the point.
This is not a social call, Rickard, but we got it.
Naturally.
Good. You know, I've been thinking, maybe I'm letting you off too easy.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh. You don't want me to talk to the police about what happened this afternoon. But the police aren't the only ones interested.
Waring?
Yeah. He's in it, too.
So you tell him. All he can do with it is turn it over to the police.
Maybe I could make a deal. He might pay more for my information than you've offered for silence.
Why don't you ask him?
I prefer to do business with you. But I think you better sweeten the kitty. What's the joke?
I've been doing some thinking, too, Ternez. I've been thinking only a sucker pays blackmail because once he starts, there's no stopping.
Sometimes you don't have any choice.
Yeah, that's right. But this gun gives me a choice.
Hey, wait a minute.
Don't worry, Ternez. I won't. Not here. It looks like a nice night for a drive. So, let's go, shall we? Turn right at the next corner and stop when you get to the door.
Look, Hickok, I'll swear you weren't at Barclays today. I'll swear.
You'll swear anything with a gun looking your way. You'll sing a different song if I give you a chance, and I do mean sing.
No, honestly,
Okay, Ternez, here's where we stop.
But I'm telling you...
I said stop. Now, you know.
Hickok, if you'll only...
Get out. Now start walking straight ahead. Go on. I'll be right behind you.
Hickok, I'll do anything you say, only give me a break.
Keep on walking out to the end of the pier.
You didn't kill Barkley. I can prove it. Give me a chance. Look, let's talk it over, huh? You didn't kill him. I'll swear to it. Anything, only...
Okay. Now, stop.
Please, Hickok,
After you've cast your vote for your favorite candidates in tomorrow's election, you'll want to be among the first to know who the winners are. So tune to Mutual tomorrow night. For Mutual and the station to which you're now listening is your best bet for fast, accurate, complete election returns. Yes, for radio's clearest, easiest to understand, and most exciting election returns, it's Mutual on election night. Now back to the adventures of the Falcon. 12 hours have passed since Rickard switched from buying silence to gunning for it. Now he's in his room, packing, when there's a knock at the door.
Come in. You can take those back. Oh, you Waring.
Mm-hmm. Who'd you expect? A moving man for that trunk?
Look, Waring, I don't have time.
Don't be so sure. You'll probably get plenty of time.
What's that supposed to mean?
Just when I read that Ternez was fished out of the river with a slug in him, I thought of you. When it said he was still alive, I had a hunch you'd be preparing to clear out before Ternez recovered enough to talk.
All right, I'm moving. That doesn't prove anything.
But Ternez is talking, Will. Next time you toss a pal in the drink, you'd better make sure he stopped breathing first.
You can't prove anything on me.
And you don't intend to wait until I can, is that it?
I don't intend to wait because I have other plans, and you're not stopping me.
No, but maybe the law will. May I use your phone?
Oh, you don't.
Oh, don't be like that. I'll give you a nickel.
Put down that phone.
Oh, sorry, pal.
Put down that phone, are you?
Oh. I was waiting for you to reach for your gun. Now I'll take it. Now you can get back to your packing, Rickard. You're going for a trip, all right. But it's not the one you planned. Hello, Ternez. The doctor said I could come in for a minute.
Hello, Eddie.
How you feeling?
All right. Until you come in.
You can turn that off now, Ternez. We're on the same team with you state's evidence against Rickard.
Yeah.
The police tell me you've not only tabbed Rickard for plugging you, but for doing the job on Barkley, too.
Yeah. That's why he wanted to finish him. Because I saw him coming up with Barkley right after the murder.
What were you doing at Barkley?
He called me yesterday afternoon. Morning, but he wanted to see me.
What about?
He didn't say. When I got to his place, he was dead.
I see. Well, thanks, Ternez. Looks like we've pretty well taken care of Mr. Rickard. We've got him for attempted murder on you, and now that he's in so deep anyway, he's admitted pulling some robberies with Barkley. The only thing he won't admit is Barkley's murder. But with your testimony, I think we'll clinch that, too.
Uh-huh.
Only not against Rickard.
What?
No, Ternez. That little job was your handiwork.
What?
So hurry up and get well, because you've got to face a murder trial, and if you're any sort of a man, you won't want to take it lying down. So you see, Gloria, when Ternez found out that Barkley and Rickard had worked the jewelry job, he went up to Barkley's to ask for blackmail. And when Barkley didn't want to pay as much as Ternez demanded, Ternez killed him and took everything he had.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just as he was leaving, he saw Rickard go into Barclay's. He knew Rickard wouldn't want it known that he was at the scene so near the time of the murder, so Ternez tried to blackmail him. You see, Ternez wasn't satisfied with just Barclay's half of the split. He wanted the whole take.
So he blackmailed Rickard for a murder he'd committed himself.
Yeah. Talk about gall, huh?
Well, tell me, Mike, how did you know Ternez was the murderer?
Oh, simple. Ternez claimed the last time he spoke to Barclay was yesterday morning. He said when he arrived at Barclay's yesterday afternoon, Barclay was already dead.
Mm-hmm.
But Ternez knew I was working for you. When I asked him how he knew, he said Barclay told him.
Yes?
Well, don't you see? Barclay didn't know that until you told him yesterday afternoon.
Of course.
So that meant Ternez was lying. He did see Barclay yesterday afternoon, but he arrived before the murder, not after, and killed Barclay in order to rob him.
Well, that clears that up, then. Now, there's just one other thing.
What's that?
I only hired you to check on Barclay, but you kept right after his murder until you solved that. Why? What did you hope to gain?
It's a beautiful night, Gloria.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beautiful moon.
Mm-hmm.
And a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
But until the murder was cleared up, you were a suspect. And you know something, Gloria? I was never much good at kissing through a wire screen. Murder doesn't fit the frame. Murder Doesn't Fit the Frame. That's the title of next week's adventure of the Falcon, when Mike Waring learns that if you know the name of a murderer, you'd better spill that information before he spills your blood. So be sure to listen next week at the same time to another exciting adventure of the Falcon. The Adventures of the Falcon are based on the famous character created by Drexel Drake, produced by Bernard L. Schubert, written tonight by Jerome Epstein, and directed by Richard Lewis. Music by Milton Kay. Les Tremaine was starred as the Falcon. Ternez was played by Joe DeSantis. This program came from New York. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
You have been listening to Golden Age Radio. Rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old time radio programs. Their dedication to safeguarding these precious audio gems ensures that future generations can relish the enchanting stories, music, and entertainment of the past. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.